three-pointer. Carolina wins it. The Tar Heels win it.
The following is a presentation of the Tar Heels Sports Network.
The grind continues for Carolina basketball. After a difficult 3-game and 3-day gauntlet in the battle for Atlantis, the Tar Heels return home to host Tennessee as part of the first ever ACC-SEC Challenge. The 10th-ranked Volunteers represent the highest-ranked non-conference opponent to visit the Smith Center since number 6 Ohio State came to Chapel Hill in the 2019-20 season. The Heels hope for a better result than that night and to build off the momentum from the Bahamas against another big-time opponent. The Tar Heel Sports Network's coverage of the 13th meeting between Tennessee and Carolina starts right now.
R.J. Davis, he's going to try a quick three. Yes, from the right sideline. 2-on-1. Baycott finishes the transition hammer. The drive is pass taken away by R.J. Davis. Davis 2-on-2, slips, saves it to Trimble, though, who scoops it in. Rebound, Carolina, it's Davis. He's fouled, and give him it. He got it to go. Has a chance for three. Pulls up, no good. Washington, the rebound and the putback. Tries the alley-oop, broken up by Trimble. Long pitch ahead, Davis, Baycott for the hammer. Turnaround for two, he got it at the horn. How about them Tar Heels?
The Tar Heels Sports Network is on the air with Carolina basketball.
This is Dave Nathan. The inaugural ACC-SEC Challenge tips off tonight for the Tar Heels against Tennessee. It's Carolina Blue versus Big Orange with a whiteout inside the Smith Center. Jones Ains will have the call of this evening's contest.
Yeah, Dave, the Tar Heels showed some positive signs in the Bahamas, but ultimately didn't achieve the prize they wanted. Carolina will need to use all those lessons learned from Atlantis to beat a very good Tennessee team in the Smith Center tonight. Pete Chilcott's a former All-ACC Tar Heel power forward, a member of 2 ACC championship teams, 91 Final Four, and heck, he won an NBA championship too with the Houston Rockets.
Thanks, Jones. I am excited to be here tonight. I don't think I've ever been part of a whiteout game to begin with. I'm wearing all white. I feel ready to go. I'm pumped up. I watched those games last week, Jones, and left, not like you stated, disappointed. I left very optimistic. I thought that there were some great signs. We didn't get all the victories we wanted, but I thought the growth that I saw and the things that I saw got me excited to see this team play again. Like, I'm looking forward to tonight. I'm looking forward to Saturday. I want to see them play as much as I can because this team has so much potential and room for growth that I'm pretty pumped up tonight.
We'll tackle those storylines on the Reed's Jewelers pregame show. Plus, we'll hear from Jerry Stackhouse and Harrison Ingram. We'll bring you interviews with head coaches Hubert Davis and Rick Barnes. Pete Chilcutt and Adam Lucas answer your questions about the Tar Heels, and we'll check on scores from around the country, too. All of that more is coming up as we count you down to tip-off between the Tar Heels and Volunteers from the Smith Center in Chapel Hill. This is Carolina basketball from Learfield.
This is Carolina basketball on the Tar Heels Sports Network, and you're listening to the Reed's Jewelers pregame show. Carolina basketball is brought to you by Hunt Brothers Pizza, the official pizza of Carolina Athletics. This is the Reed's Jewelers pregame show.
Is back on its home court for the first time in almost 2 weeks. A 3-game stint in the Bahamas saw Carolina claim third place in the battle for Atlantis, and the games against Northern Iowa, Villanova, and Arkansas. Jones, I thought they highlighted a number of things that you only find out once you see a team play in live action. The biggest thing that came to my mind was how quickly this team was able to pick itself back up after it got knocked down by Villanova.
Yeah, no doubt, Dave, and thank you and Adam for doing such a great job down in the Bahamas, making the Tar Heel Sports Network sound good down there as Carolina was taking on those three really good opponents. And you're right. I thought Friday's game against Arkansas was just an enormous game for so many different reasons for Carolina. Pete, I mean, the Heels again knocked down, as Dave referenced, the game before against Villanova. They were frustrated. They felt like they had done a lot of things well enough to win the game, but ultimately did not. And I think it was an opportunity, if they wanted to go, oh, gosh, here we go again. Another one of these kind of early season tournaments. For whatever reason, the last several years, those have been really tough for the Tar Heels, and they could have just come out with 75% energy on Friday and lost to a good Arkansas team. But instead, they came out, they played well. They didn't have a great final 10 minutes of the first half, but outside of that, the other 30 minutes, they played really well. That final 20 in particular, they looked excellent. And Carolina, I think, because of that, left that event feeling like it had accomplished something. Now, did it ultimately get what it wanted? No. But did it make some progress? I think so. And so they try to carry that progress over to tonight and beyond.
Yeah, no doubt. I was impressed, like you mentioned, with that second half. But I would say the second half of Northern Iowa, the second half of Villanova, they really seem to gel a little bit and make some changes at halftime internally. Coaching changes, players are playing a little bit harder, a little bit better on defense. It's impressive to put together those halves against really good teams. The thing I saw from the Bahamas that really made me get kind of excited was the amount of depth and the amount of different players that stepped up at any different time shooting or playing defense or rebounding or just making good plays was really something that you can really build upon and getting these guys out there to have confidence. I mean, the last game, Seth Trimble looked like he could go out there and do that, every night. We need guys to be able to kind of provide that spark and that view of that they can do that kind of stuff. And I think the players are getting more confident playing together. And as you mentioned, there is no divisiveness. They seem really, really tight, even when they were down against Villanova or even when they were not having that good stretch against Arkansas. I think one thing Coach Davis might say is we don't want to rely on strong second halves. Maybe we could put together two really good halves, and I think that would be really impressive. I think the thing I noticed today when I was looking at some of the stats was I don't know that we've shot extremely well for any game in particular for the whole game, but I think we're averaging close to 85 points a game. Not even getting some of those shots. We know we have some better shooters that are showing. So I think there's a lot of potential on offense. I think put together some of those two halves together for defense and rebounding. I think this team has really good potential and really good leadership because they all seem really tight right now.
And Dave, Pete mentioned the depth, and you saw it firsthand. Seth Trimble had that really good game against Arkansas. He had career highs in that game in points, rebounds, minutes played, three-pointers made. Jalen Washington was effective when he came in really all three games in the event in the Bahamas. You saw that starting lineup kind of get moved around a little bit. Some of that was due to injury, and it was necessary, but Carolina called upon different guys. Elliot Cadeau played well. He had 11 assists and just one turnover in the three games. And so you know what you expect from R.J. Davis, and even though they haven't been Tar Heels, you know what to expect from Harrison Ingram and Cormac Ryan. You have a pretty good baseline for those guys. And now when you're starting to see maybe that baseline rise for some of those bench players, that makes you excited about where Carolina could go.
No doubt, as Carolina takes on Tennessee tonight in the ACC-SEC matchup. I haven't talked a lot about Armando Bacot to this point. Let's put the magnifying glass on Carolina's most experienced player. I felt like there was a focus at the beginning of both halves against Arkansas to go inside to Bacot. The end result in totality over the course of those three games was outside of an 18-rebound performance against Villanova. He didn't put up his usual numbers, and I got to think, why was that? And Pete, you're probably best to address this than anybody. How much attention do you see Bacot drawing from the other team this year, knowing full well that he's the focal point of probably most every scouting report?
No doubt he is going to get the primary focus of the attention, mainly because, rightfully so, we want him to touch the ball every possession. And if he gets it in the right position, he can score every position. I think what happened a little bit down in the Bahamas was he was getting a little bit out of his comfort zone, maybe catching it too much on the standstill. But even so, I'm not to the point of saying that he didn't play well. He didn't play as well as he can. But even so, he was demanding attention. And again, if we get the ball down low to him and he's drawing attention, that just opens up areas for the rest of the team. Surely he can play better. He will play better. If anybody on this team that is a proven commodity, it's him. So there's not any worry about what kind of game shape he's in. I think he'll figure out maybe some things to work on a little differently, get a little closer, make a little quicker decisions. But again, he is such a proven player, and there's no doubt he's going to be a focal point going forward, getting that ball in, either scoring or just demanding the double team and getting the ball out. So I'm looking forward to see what he does tonight against another physical team that's going to try to push him out a little bit farther. Can he get the ball lower where he wants it, or is Tennessee going to be able to keep him off the post?
Yeah, and I think just some numbers, one number to back up what Pete was just saying was that Armando Bacot only shot 37% from the floor in those 3 games. I mean, this is a guy that even on just this season is shooting better than 51%, and that's with those difficult 3 games. And a guy that we are used to seeing, Dave, he's normally in that 60 to 70% range as far as field goals made and field goal percentage. And so to shoot just 37%, I think it tells you, one, some of the shots he was taking are not the highest percentage shots for him to take. And two, and this is my personal opinion, I haven't talked to Armando about this, felt like he missed a lot of shots, some shots that I think he would be okay taking and would normally make. And Dave, you mentioned, there was, I think it was the Villanova game, first play of the second half. It was a design play that Carolina ran well. Bacot had a uncontested layup that he missed. Well, that's not going to happen very often. And so I do think that those things kind of snowballed a little bit. He's got to finish better around the rim. Some of those tips where he's getting 3-4 chances at it, got to convert on some of those. And you want those type of shots compared to the 15-foot standstill jumpers. Not that he can't make those, but you'd rather the problem be, hey, he's getting great shots that aren't going in, which I think was part of it, compared to the other part of it, which was some of the shots that he was taking, maybe not his highest percentage opportunities.
Just a closing thought here on Carolina. We've got an elongated version of the Reed Jewelers pregame show since we don't tip this one off until about 7:15. Cormac Ryan went down with the ugly ankle injury towards the end of the Villanova game. Didn't dress against Arkansas, but going through pregame warmups right now. Guys, it looks like he is vastly improved from where he was about 72 hours ago.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that Cormac Ryan is available tonight. I would be a little surprised if he started just because he hasn't been able to go through practice these past couple of days since Carolina returned from the Bahamas. He's been at practice and he's been active, but he hasn't been going through the team things during practice. He's been doing some more kind of rehab and individual work just to try and make that ankle, see how it will react and if it can feel a little bit better. But from everything that we've been told, Dave, and everything in watching Cormac Ryan in this pregame, he appears to be available. Again, we'll have to see if he starts or not. I don't think so, but he does appear to be available tonight. And, Pete, if he is available, that's obviously a good thing for the Tar Heels. You got a guy who started going in a little bit more in that second half of Northern Iowa and then the Villanova game. And there's no doubt he's bringing you defense, he's bringing you energy, he's bringing you leadership, and he's bringing a little bit of an edge out there as well.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say he's probably pretty good to go if the coaching staff is going to let him get out there. They've proven pretty conservative in letting guys play with injuries. So I think it's a great thing that he's going to be out there. Again, starter or not, he provides that length, that athleticism on the wing. He can drive, he can shoot. He's a great leader out there. He's a glue guy. So even if he's not on top of his game, he can just, by playing his game, he kind of makes the team a little bit better as far as gelling together. Looking forward to seeing not only him, but also the other pieces that are out there. Again, just so many pieces on this team that can provide a spark, and he's definitely one of those guys.
Carolina and Tennessee coming up in about an hour's time as we press the pause button here on the Reed Jewelers pregame show. We'll come back and discuss the number 10 Volunteers upon our return. It's the Reed Jewelers pregame show from Learfield. Food Line Feeds has donated over 3.2 million meals to local food banks through the Food Line Score to Give More program. for every free throw made by the Tar Heels this season. Food Line Feeds will continue to donate 100 meals to feed our neighbors in need right here in the Triangle. Along with Jones Angel and Pete Chilcutt, I'm Dave Nathan, Jody Zorgner, Ben Alexander, also on scene here, as is Adam Lucas and John Essick, pushing all the right buttons back in our Learfield Mission Control studio. The opponent tonight for the Tar Heels is Tennessee. The Volunteers arrived at Chapel Hill 4-2 on the early season, and it's been a really tough schedule to begin Rick Barnes' 9th season on Rocky Top. The Vols opened with a victory against number 4 Michigan State. They also hold wins over Wofford, Syracuse, and Wisconsin. Plus, Jones, they played the top 2 teams in the country in consecutive games in Honolulu last week, but fell to both Purdue and Kansas.
Yeah, it has not been an easy journey. And that Michigan State game was an exhibition for Tennessee. So while, yes, they did play them, it wasn't something that counted towards their overall record. But they still have the win against Wisconsin, the win against Syracuse. So they've played some quality competition, not to mention, of course, back-to-back games against, ho-hum, the teams that were at the time ranked number 1 and number 2 in the country in Purdue and Kansas. So they played a lot of good competition. This is a veteran team, and Pete, it's a really, really physical team and a defensive-minded team. And so for Carolina, that means to me you've got to be ready to match that physicality. And, I mean, Rick Barnes, the head coach, you know they're going to be physical. And then what can you do offensively against a really good, number 1 defensive efficiency team in the country last year. Their number 1 defensive efficiency team, small sample size, this year to this point. So Carolina's offense will be fascinating to watch today. Can Carolina get shots at once against a really, again, physical and defensive-oriented team from Tennessee?
Absolutely. You mentioned Rick Barnes. That coach has got a lot. I respect him a lot for what he's done wherever he's been. Tough-nosed, physical, and not always the kind of guy you want to play against, but obviously the guy that will challenge you to be it's a tough team to beat. Tennessee will be a tough out tonight. The thing I was really impressed with Carolina in the Bahamas was I think we came out and we kind of matched the physicality against those teams we played against, which is not always a given. I don't want to give any credence to the myth out there that we don't like physical games, but I think we proved this year so far that we go out there and we can bang and be physical just like these teams that were bringing it to us. So I hope we can continue that tonight. It's going to be a big test. Can we match their physicality? Can we do so on offense and defense? Can we get the shots we want? It's not going to be easy. As you mentioned, they're solid defensively. But, again, I think the advantage we have, we are at home. We got white out. We got the crowd behind us. We got a lot of weapons. We know we want to go down low, but we got so many different options. So going against this Rick Barnes coach team with this tough defense is a great early season test for us. I think they've proven that they're up for competition with whoever they play against. I don't think they're going to be intimidated at all coming in here, which is a good thing. Like I want this game to be a slugfest to see how we respond. I think it's going to be good for us down the stretch. 2 things, Dave. I think some of that desire to meet the physicality from the Tar Heels side of things. Harrison Ingram and Cormac Ryan have given Carolina a different edge than I think it had a year ago that it needed. And I think those guys, and even some guys maybe that aren't playing as much right now, like a James Okonkwo or a Zayden High. I mean, there's a different edge to some of these guys that the Tar Heels have that I think Carolina felt like it was missing a little bit over the last couple of seasons. So worth watching that tonight because this will be a physical game. And then, isn't it interesting that these two teams are seeing each other so much here recently? It's the 4th time in the last 8 years that they have played one another. They played just 3 times from 1950 through 2015. So you're looking at 65 seasons, or 65 years that Carolina and Tennessee played 3 times. They've played 4 times in 8 years since. So they've seen each other regularly. These have been competitive games when they have played. Carolina won both ends of a home and home, but both were very close games. And then Tennessee ended up with a 17-point win in the last time these two teams played in Uncasville, Connecticut, as part of that Hall of Fame tip-off a couple years ago. So they've played some good games, and we certainly expect tonight to be another one.
From that game in Uncasville a couple seasons back, the Vols still have players like Santiago Vescovi and Zakai Ziegler. Josiah Jordan-James was on the roster that year but didn't play that day, and Jonas Adu, who's going to be a real pivotal player in the post tonight, only, I think, saw 1 minute of floor time. So it should be both a similar and yet revamped roster for the Vols, but there's no doubt the biggest addition is Dalton Connect, who's a transfer from Northern Colorado, leading the team in scoring.
Yeah, he can really shoot, and he can really score. In fact, I would almost say he's more of a scorer than just a pure shooter. He just finds different ways to get the ball in the basket. He's shooting 45% from the floor, 38% from three. He's taken 27 free throws in 6 games, and he's shooting 81.5% from there. And Pete, he's scored everywhere he's been. He was a great scorer. He was a All-America at the junior college level. Then he went to Northern Colorado, as Dave mentioned, and was an all-conference performer there, averaged better than 20 points per game last season. And now he's in a Power 6 in basketball team and has continued to put the ball in the basket. Obviously, somebody the Tar Heels will have to keep an eye on tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I watched a couple of his games out in Maui, and he makes it look effortless for a scorer to have so many good looks. Like, he's creating some really good looks for himself. He's confident. He's experienced. But, again, when I'm looking at what you mentioned with our some of these new guys, we got 3 wings now that with Withers and Ingram and Cormac Ryan that can give him some different looks, be physical, be long and athletic, bother him a little bit. I'm looking forward to see how we kind of attack him on his offensive end and make him maybe work on the defensive end a little bit too.
Closing thought here, Tennessee is, I think, in a really similar stretch that Carolina found itself in a year ago. A team that traveled west over Thanksgiving, went 1-2, and then had to immediately hit the road again. And last season, we all remember and probably would like to forget that game at Indiana after the PK Invitational. And the more that Coach Davis talked about that sequence, the emotional and physical toll that it took on the team wasn't just that week, but it was throughout the course of the season. And we'll see if Tennessee is better equipped to handle this run of travel this year than the Tar Heels were a year ago.
Yeah, and I will say, and Dave, you know this because you lived some of it last year, I don't think it's quite as extreme as it was for Carolina last year. Remember, the Tar Heels played in Portland. The final game was on a Sunday. They did not even come back to Chapel Hill. They went straight to Bloomington and played a game on Wednesday from there, then came home for a night and then had to go to Virginia Tech and play a conference game that weekend. That is as ridiculous and extreme a travel scenario as there has been, at least that I can remember a team having to go through. And Carolina paid the price for that with some Tar Heels didn't play very well, and the record showed it. Now, listen, I'm not suggesting what Tennessee's doing is easy, where they did go out to Maui. Their last game was on Wednesday, and they flew back home. They've been home for a couple days and now playing again tonight. So not easy. I don't know if it's quite as extreme as what the Tar Heels went through last year. But, Pete, we've seen this even with Carolina through the years, and obviously you from your time playing and in the NBA as well. I mean, it is not easy to make these long trips and to try and stay fresh and to play your best after some long travel, which is what the Vols will try and do tonight.
Yeah, these teams are traveling more and more these days, but I think the thing that you can't overlook is the value of just being at home. So they're not at home. We are. We have to use that to our advantage. We're going to have the crowd support. They're going to be on the road again. We got to get on the – ideally, we get on there early. We play hard. We get out there a nice, good start, put them on the defensive to begin with, not rely on these strong second halves that we've had. Maybe get out and have a good first half. That would be really impressive. And something that I think tonight can happen just because, as you mentioned, they've been on the road a little bit. We're back home. We're feeling like we're ready to prove something to a team that's ranked higher than us. It's a tough team. A lot of questions could be answered tonight just going forward for the next month or so. How are we going to compete against some of these better teams at home? Can we take care of that home court advantage? Can we use it to our advantage? I think we can. Looking forward to it.
That's Pete Chilcutt. He and Jones will have the call of this evening's game between Carolina and Tennessee. Pete will rejoin us after the break. Adam Lucas will join us for the first time. They'll tackle your Carolina questions, and then Jones will slide over into the Continental Tire Coach's Corner to discuss things with Coach Davis. That's all when we return. It's the Reed's Jewelers pregame show from Learfield. Tonight's pregame show is brought to you by Reed's Jewelers. The official tip-off time tonight is 7:16 Reed's Jewelers, your home for fine Swiss timepieces, beautiful diamonds, and the world's most luxurious jewelry brands. That's Reed's Jewelers, trusted with life's moments. Visit your local Reed's Jewelers or Reeds.com. Dave Nathan welcoming you back here to the Smith Center as Carolina hosts Tennessee tonight in the ACC SEC Challenge. Adam Lucas and Pete Chilcutt ready to answer some of your Carolina questions. And Pete, we'll start with you, big fella. From Seth Perry, how long does it take before a freshman is acclimated to the college game and no longer sometimes looks overwhelmed?
That's a great question. I would say you're going to have to probably take that on an individual basis. I know, for example, when I came in with the great J.R. Reed, the player of the year in the country, as a freshman with myself, we were both freshmen coming into Carolina. He was a little more acclimated to the game at that point than I was. He adapted really quick. I mean, he came in pretty much dominating, doing what he could do when he wanted it. I came in a little bit not ready for that competition level. So I think a little different as a player based on who you are, where you're coming from. I will say probably there's a lot more similarities these days. Guys coming in, they're all playing on the AAU circuit, playing against some pretty good competition. But even with a guy like Elliot Cadeau, you can kind of say, hey, I don't feel like he's really assertive himself yet. I think he's capable of a whole bunch more. He's kind of trying to feel his way, get comfortable, which is a good thing. Like I'm glad he's not coming in trying to do too much. But that timetable could be just practices. The game could be maybe January. I think you're going to see a little variance in that, but I think it's based on the level. These guys are coming in pretty game ready. I think they're coming in within a month of the beginning of the season. I think they're ready to go.
Hey, Adam, it got me thinking the same question here. The staff members that Coach Davis has all had varying degrees of individual success throughout the course of their Carolina careers, but to me, in the last 10, 15 years, the poster child for somebody who struggled early but went on to have a prolific career is Marcus Page, and it would seem to me that he would have a wealth of knowledge about sticking with the process and enjoying results at the end of the day.
And Dave, I think that's why it's so valuable to have him there on the bench right beside these guys. Remember, and we've talked about this before, Marcus Page at Christmas of his freshman year thought he wasn't good and was wondering, are they going to ask me to come back? Well, they did ask him to come back, which I think was the right choice, and he continued to get better over the remainder of his freshman season and go on to have a great Tar Heel career. If you've noticed, it's been interesting after the first couple games, Marcus is filling that role that was held by Jackie Manuel, so he was sitting where Jackie Manuel was sitting. He's now moved up onto the bench where he can talk to the players during the game when they come out of the game, tell them things that he saw or answer questions that they might have. I think that's a valuable in-game resource to have.
Next question from Jordan Rollins. It says, does Coach Davis think he can play Cadeau and R.J. Davis together against bigger, more athletic teams like Tennessee? And Jordan says it seems like that lineup wouldn't work defensively against good teams. Adam, what do you think?
Well, the only thing is the other team's got to guard you too. And Hubert Davis has made a point this year of trying to push the pace, and if you've got R.J. Davis and Elliot Cadeau out there together, the ball's going to get up the court more quickly than any other combination you have. We even saw at one point in the Bahamas, the Tar Heels had those two plus Seth Trimble out there, so they were running three-point guards at once. They've played Davis and Cadeau together some this year, and I don't know that it's been as hurtful as people maybe thought it was going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if you see it some tonight. You're going to run up against some teams who are going to try to bully you with that lineup, but make them do it. You don't decide before the game starts, oh, we can't do this. They might be mean to us or too tough for us. Pete, I mean, these are two guys who really give Carolina the opportunity to score at a really high level.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go back to what Coach Smith would have probably thought back in the day is we're going to play our way and make you adapt to us. We're not going to change for you. And I think even with some bigger guards, there's things you can do to kind of counteract that. But I think if it turns out that that's the best lineup we can put on the floor, then I think we're going to do that and not worry about the size. I think you made a valid point. Those two guys create problems for you defensively, which you got to consider. Are you going to be able to guard our two guys who are quicker, able to penetrate, get some open shots? So I think it's a situation where I think we're going to put the guys on the court that help us, not the ones that we're not going to worry about, what you're going to do against us, if that makes any sense.
All right, that's Adam Lucas and Pete Chilcutt answering your Carolina questions. How about some more questions from Jones to Coach Davis in our first installment of the Continental Tire Coach's Corner? It's brought to you by Continental Tire, the smart choice in tires for a dealer near you. Just go to ContinentalTire.com.
After the trip to the Bahamas, Carolina back in the Smith Center to match up with Tennessee tonight, and I'm with the head coach of the Tar Heels, Hubert Davis. We are inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner. Coach, 3 games in 3 days against 3 good teams in the Bahamas. What did you feel like your team took away from that event and a couple of victories in Atlantis?
Well, it was, 3 games against 3 really good teams and also 3 different teams. I mean, just Northern Iowa, Villanova, and Arkansas. You can't get a more diverse group of opponents and just in terms of what they do on both ends of the floor. And so that's one of the many things that I was really proud of, was our ability in a quick turnaround to be able to tweak and adjust and to be able to play really good quality teams that have different styles. And obviously, short of losing in overtime to Villanova, I felt like it was a very positive trip and it allowed us to get better as a team.
There were a lot of fouls called over the 3 days and really in the whole event, but Carolina was whistled for 71 fouls in the 3 games. Obviously, we could discuss the fouls themselves, but how can your team continue to play the quality defense that it has played so far while hopefully getting fewer whistles blown?
Well, I mean, that's something heading into the Bahamas we were really good at. We were defending without putting teams on the free throw line and fouling. Now, the teams that we did play, the Bahamas, they put a lot of pressure on you. They're very physical, defensively athletic, so they stretch you defensively a little bit more. But we've got to do a better job of trying to defend without fouling. And I would say probably the biggest thing for us was during the Villanova game. We fouled 3 times on the 3-pointer, and we gave them 9 points from that. And so that's something that we just can't do and you can't get back. But for us defensively, it's important for us to defend and not put guys at the free throw line.
Don't you feel like Harrison Ingram was really impressive in those 3 games in multiple facets? He seems to give in your team an on-court boost and gives you guys a little bit of an edge out there as well.
He does. He's competitive. He's one of those guys. His personality, he makes you laugh, and he's not even trying to make you laugh. But on the court, his personality completely changes. He's intense. He's competitive. He's combative, and he's extremely talented. And, just like you said, his ability with his size and athleticism and skill set, he can do a number of things for us out there on the floor on both ends, and just being able to score, pass, rebound, handle the ball, defend. He's just a very versatile player, and I'm so thankful that he's here at Carolina.
Harrison and the rest of the Tar Heels will see another really good opponent. This time it's Tennessee. We'll talk about the Volunteers a little later in our pregame show.
That's part 1 of our 2-part conversation with Coach Davis inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner. When we come back, kind of another 2-part conversation. We'll hear from Harrison Ingram, who spoke yesterday at Carolina's media availability. And we'll also check in with Jerry Stackhouse, who played against a Rick Barnes-coached Clemson team back in the mid-1990s, and now those two are both coaching against one another in the SEC. Coach Barnes, of course, at Tennessee, and Coach Stackhouse at Vanderbilt. And strangely enough, both Coach Stackhouse and Coach Barnes went into the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame just a few short months ago. So we'll hear from Harrison Ingram and Jerry Stackhouse when we come back to the Reed's Jewelers pregame show from Learfield. Dave Nathan welcoming you back to the Reed's Jewelers pregame show. Carolina and Tennessee coming up just after 7 o'clock tonight. And with the Vols in town, Harrison Ingram met with the media yesterday to discuss what the first month of the season has been like and what he expects from tonight's opponent.
But we know it's going to be a physical game. We know they have 8, 9 really good players, deep team. We know we have to be physical on defense, physical on offense, and be ready to go because they're coming. They're trying to beat us. They're coming off 2 losses, I think, in Maui against 2 good teams, but still 2 losses. So we know they're going to be motivated and be ready to go.
Harrison, what's your comfort level offensively with the rest of the guys?
I mean, as high as it's ever been. They have confidence in me. I have confidence in them. I like the way we're playing, sharing the ball. Everyone knows their spots, and I feel like the roles are everyone's getting their role kind of I mean, we're still defining roles because we're still at the beginning of the season, a brand new team, but I think everybody's kind of fitting into the role and kind of figuring out where they need to be on the court.
Is there like one thing that gets you into a game? Like, is it handling the ball early? Is it getting a post touch? Is there something early on in the game that gets you into that flow?
For me, it's usually an energy play, like a steal or a charge or, I don't know, just someone screaming or like, I don't know, Cormac or somebody just screaming gets me going.
In terms of your three-point shooting, 48% so far early in the season, is it a matter of just a confidence thing, or do you think you're getting different looks with the offense this year than what you might have been doing?
I think it's a combination of both. I'm not having to take as many off the dribble shots that I had to take. Last second shot clock. I mean, we don't really get to the last second shot clock a lot because we play so fast. But in general, I'm not really taking last second threes. I'm more aggressive towards the rim. And then most of the threes I'm taking are catch and shoot step in threes, which at Stanford, I'm pretty sure I shot like 40 over my 2 years on just catch and shoot threes. And those are the shots I'm taking mostly here.
Carolina Basketball is brought to you by Wells Fargo, official retail bank sponsor of Carolina Athletics. This is the Reed's Jewelers pregame show.
The first edition of the new ACC-SEC Challenge has Carolina hosting Tennessee in the Smith Center tonight, and I'm with the head coach of the Tar Heels, Hubert Davis, inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner. Coach, Carolina's seen Rick Barnes coach teams plenty through his career at Clemson and Texas and Tennessee, and their physicality always seems to stand out. How would you like your team to respond to that physical nature this evening?
That's one of the things that I felt like we were really good at last week in the Bahamas was the physicality of Arkansas and also Villanova. And so, we like it physical. And so that's the way that we practice. That's the way that we prepare. And that's the way that we like to play. And so, obviously, any team that is coached by Coach Barnes has a physicality to it. And not only do we have to match that, we have to meet that tonight.
They led the nation in defensive efficiency last year and small sample size, but they're leading the country in that metric again this year. What will be important for Carolina to have success offensively against a high-quality defense tonight?
Well, one of the things that I've talked to the team is, our pace has been really good, and so we've got to get out in transition. It's much easier to score against, a team when their defense isn't set in the half court, so running in transition, even after a made baskets, is going to be really huge for us. So our pace, and then once we settle in the half court, just our spacing and a combination of ball and player movement. If we have that spacing to be able to drive gaps, because we got guys that can create mismatches and get to the basket and Armando inside, we'll be fine in the half court. We just have to have good ball movement and good player movement with spacing.
First of two games in the Smith Center this week comes tonight against Tennessee. Coach, as always, thank you for your time and best of luck.
Thank you very much, Jones. I appreciate it.
That's the Continental Tire Coach's Corner as we now get into our keys to the game. It's brought to you by Honda. Take your Tar Heels tailgate to the next level with a new Honda. See your Honda dealer of the Carolinas today. Jones, my key is something that you just talked to Coach Davis about. That's the physicality of this game. Carolina can't get moved off the ball, moved off where it wants to go. It's got to play tough.
I'm going with pace. Coach Davis is right. Carolina's been playing faster this year, and when the Tar Heels can play fast and get easy buckets, it's a huge benefit for them. Pete, love to see Carolina get some easy buckets in transition tonight.
Yeah, I think you're both right. Pace and physicality. But my key to the game is the first 10 minutes of the game. Can we establish those two things early on?
Those are our keys to the game as Carolina and Tennessee meet in the ACC-SEC Challenge here inside the Smith Center. We'll take our final break of the Reed's Jewelers pregame show and come back with starting lineups and the tip-off from Learfield.
The 13th meeting between Carolina and Tennessee, just the fourth that has occurred in Chapel Hill, and just the second that has happened in the Smith Center. Carolina won the previous game here in the Smith Center. That was back on December 11th of 2016. Carolina won that day 73-71. Tony Bradley had a big block right at the end of the game to help Carolina win that one. The contest today pits 2 ranked teams, and that includes the visitors from Tennessee. They enter 4-2 overall, but still ranked number 10 in the country, number 11 in the coaches poll. Their 2 losses are a 4-point loss to then number 2, now number 1 Purdue, and Kansas, who was number 1 at the time. Jayhawks dropped a couple spots after a loss to Marquette, still in the top 5, and that was a 9-point game. The Jayhawks topped Tennessee. So very good opponent coming in to tonight. Let's take a look at the starting lineups presented by Coors Light. Coors Light, made to chill, an official beer of the Tar Heels. In the backcourt, Zakai Ziegler, 5'9" junior from Long Island, New York. Ziegler scored 18 points against the Tar Heels a couple years ago as a freshman. He's been an established player. This is his first start this year, though, because he is recovering from a torn ACL that he suffered on February 28th. He had surgery on March 13th. They weren't sure he was going to be available at the beginning of the year, but he's played in every game, and he'll get the start tonight. He's joined in the backcourt by Santiago Vescovi, the 6'3", fifth-year player originally from Uruguay, averaging 9 points, 4 rebounds per contest. The forwards, Dalton Connect, 6'6", fifth-year player originally from Thornton, Connecticut, was a junior college player, then Northern Colorado, now at Tennessee. He's the Vols' leading scorer at 17.5 points. Josiah Jordan James, another fifth-year player, originally from Charleston, South Carolina, 6'7", 220 pounds, 9.5 points, 7 rebounds per contest. And finally, one of 2 North Carolina natives on the Tennessee roster, Jonas Adu, 6'11", junior from Durham, averaging 8 points, 7.5 boards, and 2 blocks per contest. Of course, the head coach at Tennessee, also a North Carolina native, Rick Barnes, originally from Hickory. In fact, he went into the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame in April and went to Lenoir-Rhyne, graduated in 1977. Those are the starters for Tennessee. Now for Carolina, 5-1 overall. Number 17 in the AP poll, 16 in the coaches poll. Hubert Davis in his 3rd year as the head coach of the Tar Heels. Carolina will have the same starting lineup it had against Arkansas. That's Elliot Cadeau, the 6'1" freshman from West Orange, New Jersey, preseason ACC Rookie of the Year. Cadeau had 11 assists and just 1 turnover in the 3 games in the Bahamas. R.J. Davis, the 6' senior from White Plains, New York, coming off a career-high tying 30 points in that victory against Arkansas. R.J. was named to the all-tournament team in the Bahamas. He averaged 22 points a game on the island. Jalen Withers, the 6'9" graduate from Charlotte, transfer from Louisville, averaging 5 points, 4 rebounds per game. Harrison Ingram, coming off a terrific performance in the Bahamas, the 6'7" junior, originally from Dallas, Texas, the Stanford transfer, averaging 14 points and 7 boards per game. And Armando Bacot looking to bounce back after 3 subpar for him games in the Bahamas, the 6'11" graduate student in total, averaging 16 points and nearly 12 rebounds. We do expect to see Cormac Ryan for the Tar Heels, not starting the game, though, this evening. Let's take a look at the Duncan uniform report. Time to get back to buzzer beaters, blocks, bounce passes, and most of all, Duncan. Welcome back, Tar Heel fans. America runs on Duncan. Carolina wearing the home whites with the Carolina blue numbers, letters, and trim. The Argyle down the side. Tennessee in the bright orange road uniforms, white numbers, letters, and trim. Ron Groover, Bert Smith, Clarence Armstrong, 3 veteran officials will control the action this evening in the Smith Center. It's going to be Adu and Bacot to jump it up, part of the very first ACC-SEC challenge. This replaces that ACC Big Ten challenge where the Tar Heels were just 11-13 in the 24 games they played in that event. Thanks so much for joining us. Excited for some great basketball tonight in the Smith Center. Clarence Armstrong throws it up. Adu and Bacot both get a hand on it, but Adu gets a second tip, and Tennessee's going to have the basketball first. Vescovi working around the perimeter, drives to the right elbow, kicks it back out. It's worked into the right corner, and Ziegler dribbles up the sideline, pitches back towards the corner to Vescovi. He dribbles back up middle of the floor. Shot clock down to 10. Ziegler weaves through to the free throw line to Vescovi. His guarded mid-range jumper no good. Long rebound, Karams on the right baseline to R.J. Davis. Tar Heels going right to left as we see it here in the Smith Center. Cadeau flips it to Bacot. Now Withers between the circles, holding it at his waist. Pitches over on the right wing to Davis. Back up high to Withers, back to Davis. 12 on the shot clock for the Tar Heels. First possession for Carolina. Baycott pitches to Ingram. Open look for three. Count it from the left wing. Good ball movement.
Great swing by Baycott right there.
Yeah, Baycott with the pitch pass from the free throw line. And Ingram, who shot well from behind the arc, 8 of 13 in the games in the Bahamas, gives Carolina the early 3-0 lead. Ziegler dribbling between the circles, finds Vescovy, dives into the lane, now pitches it back out. He receives the pass back. Shot clock down to 6. Smith Center crowd appreciates the defensive effort. Vescovy can't get the shot off against Davis. Over to Ziegler. His three is short. Long rebound goes into the Tar Heel bench. It'll belong to Carolina.
Love those first two possessions that Carolina's really moving their feet.
Yeah, a lot of just watching Cadeau a little bit. He really did a nice job against Vescovy in that initial or in that second defensive effort for Carolina. Cadeau brings it front court, dumps it off to Withers. 3-0 Carolina. It's R.J. Davis has the now on the left wing. Gets a screen from Baycott. A double team comes, so Davis dribbles out of it. Over to Cadeau, back to Davis. Loops a pass down low to Baycott. It's tipped away. Baycott dives on the floor, and that's going to save the possession because as Baycott dove, so did a Volunteer, and it goes out of bounds off Tennessee. 9 on the shot clock. Good effort by Baycott after the pass was tipped away. Ingram's going to throw it in front of the Tennessee bench. 9 on the shot clock, 18-14 on the first half game clock. Tough spot to throw it in from Ingram, and a great job by Vescovy. He took it away from the Tar Heels and saved it over his head. Meanwhile, a shot is missed in transition, but a foul is called as Cadeau going to get called for the foul as Connect on the back end of the fast break ends up drawing the foul. What a great effort by Vescovy. Was mentioned that was a tough place to throw it in for the Tar Heels in that deep in that corner. And Vescovy intercepted, saved it over his head, and started the break. That was first foul on either team. Connect, a very good free throw shooter, and he gets the roll. Front iron, then crawled in. Carolina's got to work on its free throw defense. Opponents are shooting better than 78% from the line against Carolina here early in the year.
I didn't know that was a thing, free throw defense.
Yeah, that's right. Just maybe yell a little bit, right? Both free throws good by Connect, and so it's 3-2. 18:05 to go in the first half. Cadeau, first-year player against the fifth-year Vescovy. Drives to the baseline. No-look pass in the left corner to Wither. Back out to Ingram. How about another three? Back-to-back triples for the Stanford transfer. 6-2. Ingram has all the points for the Tar Heels. Tennessee down low to Adu. Has to pitch it back out as Baycott was defending tightly. Vescovy tries to drive against Davis to Adu at the free throw line. Ingram bothering him. Kicks it out to Connect. His three rattles out. It was almost in but dropped out. Hubert Davis waving his team forward as Carolina goes on the fast break. R.J. Davis for three. No good. Withers tips the rebound. Baycott fights a couple Volunteers for it. And I think he's going to draw the foul as Adu had a hand in there. And let's see if it's a jump ball or a foul call. They're going to call a jump ball, and it will belong to the Tar Heels. But Baycott, a couple of times here early, has been aggressive, diving to save the loose ball and then there on the rebound.
Very active. Love that.
Withers is the one who kept it alive after the three from Davis popped out. And then Baycott fought hard for it. 6-2 Carolina, 17:23 to go in the first half. Inbounds to Withers to Cadeau. He's going to drive hard on an angle left side. To Ingram, another three from the right corner this time. No, Cadeau, though, with the offensive rebound. Got it down low to Baycott. His hook shot bounced around and dropped home. Well, a couple of offensive rebounds kept that possession alive. And eventually Baycott makes it pay off with the baby hook, 8-2. Ziegler to Connect. A switch has the much smaller R.J. Davis guarding him. Sends it to James. James, turn around right of the lane, goes. Josiah Jordan James gets the first field goal for Tennessee, and it's 8-4 as Withers drives hard on Connect. He had his shot blocked at the rim. Here comes Tennessee the other way. Connect bringing it front side. He'll attack and score from the right side. Boy, Connect so fluid in transition.
He's a great offensive player for sure.
Cormac Ryan has come to the scorers table for Carolina. Tennessee has scored the last 4 points to get back within 2. Ingram's already hit 2 threes. That one's short from the top right. Tennessee with the board. Volunteers can tie or take the lead. Ingram, though, tips it away from Connect. Ingram the other way is going to jam it in with the left hand.
Nice finish, nice defense.
Connect had his pocket picked, and then Ingram went to finish the job. 10-6. Smith Center crowd on its feet. It's been a fun first 4 minutes. Both teams doing some good things. Heels up early. Ziegler to Vescovy on the left side. Dumps it down low to Adu. Got a free from Baycott for the easy layup.
Yeah, that a little bit too easy down there.
Good lead pass by Vescovy as R.J. Davis will try a quick three. Got it from the right corner. Third three the Heels have made. 13-8. Carolina on top by 5. Tennessee with the basketball. These teams moving at a quick pace. Volunteers already in the half court. Vescovy back out to Ziegler near the center jump circle. 15 on the shot clock. Gets a screen from Adu. He'll pull up for the long 2 and swish it home. Good shot by Ziegler. Makes it 13-10.
These guys aren't going to go away. We got to make sure we keep the pressure on them.
Tar Heels 5 of 9. Tennessee 4 of 7 from the floor early on. Cadeau can't get by Vescovy, so he circles back out. Gives it to Baycott. Now to Ingram. Ingram through traffic. Pitches to Cadeau. Right back to Ingram. Over to Davis. He's going to try another guarded three. Online but too strong. And a rebounding foul called on Withers. He and Connect were both up in the air to try and get it, but Ingram banged into him from behind. Withers banged into him from behind. And the foul will be on the Charlotte native. His first, second on Carolina. So Tennessee will have the basketball after we come back. The Volunteers have made their last 4 shots after missing their first 3. They're within 3. Tar Heels 13, Tennessee 10. Our game today presented by Window World, the Triangle's most trusted premier window replacement window, siding, and door company. 14:54 to go in the first half. Heels up 3 from their field. Tar Heels with the advantage here early on over Tennessee. Carolina 4 assists on its 5 made field goals. For 25 years, more than 25 years, Top of the Hill Restaurant and Brewery has been a pre- and post-game tradition in Chapel Hill with handcrafted beer, great food and atmosphere. It is where Tar Heels come to celebrate. Pete, certainly some good stuff here early for Carolina, but one number I know that caught your eye, 7 of Carolina's 10 field goal attempts so far have been threes. Now, they've made 3 of them, 2 by Ingram, 1 by R.J. Davis, but be interested to see if that trend continues.
Yeah, you don't want to get too happy with the 3. I mean, 3 is a big part of the game for sure. I thought maybe a couple of those were unneeded, maybe forced a little bit. And as we mentioned at the top of the hour, getting Baycott established down low, getting him the ball first, and then kicking it out is probably a better idea as far as getting some of those threes. But I liked our pace. I like the fact we're moving the ball. Those assists shore up a little bit on the defense, take away some of those easy baskets on their end. I think it's a great start.
Now, Tennessee missed its first 3 shots, but it's made 4 in a row since. A couple of those did come in transition. Cormac Ryan will check in for Carolina, so did not play the last game against Arkansas after injuring his ankle at the very end of the Villanova contest. He'll replace Withers, so Carolina will have Cadeau, Davis, Ryan, Ingram, and Baycott. No subs, well, 1 sub for Tennessee. Jordan Gainey, junior from Tucson, Arizona, is in the game as a carrying violation is called on Connect. He was battling one-on-one with Cormac Ryan right of the lane, and Connect called for the carry, so that will give it to the Tar Heels. Jemai Meshack is in for Tennessee, a junior from Fontana, California. Good defensive player, and he's going to get the assignment on Ingram, who's made a couple buckets here early for the Tar Heels. Baycott picked up his dribble up high, wanted to go back door, couldn't do it. Finally finds Cadeau, who drives, kicks it out to Cormac Ryan. His 3 is online, but strong. Long rebound to Ingram. He'll get it to R.J. Davis. Finally, the Heels get it in the post to Baycott. Spins around. Adu goes up and under and scores.
That's what we're talking about. On the move, go up strong, nice finish.
Started on the left, scooped it in from the right. 15-10. Carolina Tar Heels have 3 offensive rebounds and 4 second chance points thus far. 15-10, Heels by 5. Ziegler right of the lane, nothing there. Sends it out to Adu. Long 2 rattles in. Both teams continuing to make some shots and shooting well. Heels 6 of 12, Tennessee 5 of 8. Cadeau, high post, flips it to Baycott. Short pass to Ingram, top left. Now on the left wing to Cadeau. Up high to R.J. Davis. The much taller Connect on him. Davis tries to drive. Some help there for Tennessee. Stops that. Now to Ingram. Ingram backing in left of the lane. Shot clock down to 7. To Cadeau. They work it around the perimeter and open Ryan from the corner. Count it for 3.
Great ball movement right there.
18-12. Ziegler, front side for Tennessee. 13-15 to go in the first half. Carolina 4 of 9 from three-point range. Connect with Cormac Ryan right there. Ryan does a nice job moving his feet. Connect lost the ball, but it rolls to Meshack. Meshack out to Ziegler. 8 seconds on the shot clock for Tennessee. Ziegler well out. Tar Heels switch a screen, so Baycott guarding him. Ziegler, a mile-long 3, no good. Good box out by Ingram for the rebound. Carolina on the run. Cadeau sprinting front side, dumps it to Baycott. He's really low. Goes up and he's fouled by Adu. Boy, good job by Cadeau pushing the pace and getting the ball to Baycott, Pete, when he was open right underneath the rim.
That may have been the fastest I've seen him move all season. He got the ball really quick off the dribble. When you put the pressure on the defense like that, we can get what we want in the break. That's really impressive.
The foul was on Adu, his first on Tennessee, and it's going to put Baycott to the line. Both teams have subs about to come in after this first free throw by Baycott, which is up and good. It's Seth Trimble entering for Carolina. Cadeau is going to get his first break, and James and Vescovy return for Tennessee, 2 starters. They're replacing Ziegler and Connect. So for the Heels, it's Davis, Trimble, Ryan, Ingram, and Baycott. Now the Heels have 2 more players at the scorer's table. Baycott makes both free throws, so that will give Jalen Washington and Zayden High a chance to come in. So the Heels have some heavy subs here on the floor. R.J. Davis, Seth Trimble, Cormac Ryan, Zayden High, and Jalen Washington. High did not play in the last game, a coach's decision. The game's waiting for just a moment as Cormac Ryan's having to retie his shoe, and he's good to go. Tennessee made a couple more subs as well. J.P. Estrella, a 6'11 freshman from Scarborough, Maine, is in for the first time. Right now it is James on the outside, tried to find a cutting Gainey underneath, and the pass was errant and sails into the basket support out of bounds. It'll belong to the Heels. So Carolina forces the turnover. That is turnover number 3 by Tennessee. 20-12, Carolina by 8. Jalen Washington, open look for 3. Hey!
1,000%.
Washington is 3 for 3 on the season. And there's another turnover by Tennessee as it was dribbled off the foot. Meshack was trying to drive against Cormac Ryan and bounced it off his foot out of bounds. 23-12, Carolina with the 11-point lead in the basketball. R.J. Davis gets a big screen from Jalen Washington. Drives, pitches, Ryan, another triple. Just rims out. Zayden High tips it, and Seth Trimble gets the offensive rebound. To Ryan, he'll try again, and he's fouled on the 3. The foul is called on Josiah Jordan James, and that's going to put Ryan at the line for 3 shots after this timeout. 11:59 to go. First half in Chapel Hill. Carolina 23, Tennessee 12. The Tar Heels on an 8-0 run in the last 90 seconds. Ryan to the line for 3 shots when we come back. Carolina up 11 from Learfield.
This is Carolina basketball.
Carolina 23 and Tennessee 12. Tar Heels with the 11-point lead. This matches the largest deficit that Tennessee has faced at any point in this young season. And Pete, you talked about the first 10 minutes of this game, and Cormac Ryan, by the way, is going to be at the free throw line when action resumes. Actually, before I throw to Pete with that, let me remind you that after the game, we'll have our Old Dominion Freight Line Best in the Game. That's our Player of the Game feature. Brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line. Old Dominion Freight Line works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. Now let's talk about that. Pete, you talked about the Tar Heels coming out strong just right from the gate, and we've seen the Heels play well in the second half a bunch this year, but wanted a strong start, and man, these first 8 minutes and 1 second, Carolina's playing well.
Yeah. Home court really has to mean something. It can't just be a figure of speech. We're at home, we wear white, and nothing changes. Like, you have to have that extra edge at home. If you have to build it from scratch, let's build it from scratch. But as you mentioned, it's been a huge factor in this first part. We're playing harder. Forget the shots. We're playing harder than they are right now, and that's a huge.
Carolina 8 of 15 from the floor, including 5 of 11. So 11 of Carolina's 15 shots are threes. That's a bunch. But Ingram's hit 2. Davis and Ryan each have 1, and Jalen Washington has 1. Tennessee is shooting well. 5 of 9 from the floor, but they've turned it over 4 times, which has hurt, including a couple here in a row, which has allowed the Tar Heels the opportunity to stretch this early advantage out some here in the Smith Center. So this is 3 shots now for Cormac Ryan, as he was fouled shooting the 3 right before the timeout. And you flip that around, that's actually something Carolina wanted to work on a bunch. They fouled 5 times on a 3-point shooter in the 3 games in the Bahamas. Ryan knocks in the first free throw, 24-12, and now 25-12 as he makes the second. He's up to 5 points. Ingram has 8, Baycott 6, and Ryan 5. R.J. Davis and Jalen Washington each have 3. Connect coming to the scorers table for Tennessee. He'll check in if Ryan hits this 3rd free throw, which he does. So Ryan now 17 of 18 from the line this year, and the only one he missed on purpose at the end of that Villanova game, where unfortunately he did turn his ankle, as we know, that cost him the Arkansas matchup, which, by the way, that was the first game since the 2021 season that Cormac Ryan had missed due to injury. Wow. So a guy who wants to be out there for sure. 11:50 to go first half. Heels now up 14 after all 3 free throws were good. Tennessee works it around the perimeter. Zayden High flies at Gainey. Gainey drives in, but High recovers and challenges the jump shot, which misses long, and the rebound goes to R.J. Davis. Hubert Davis screaming out some instructions for his offense as Davis works in the half court. Over to Cormac Ryan, deep on the left wing. Jab step to the right. He's going to get it down low to Jalen Washington. Double team comes. Washington dropped it off. Down low to High. Back to Washington, and he banks it home. Back and forth they go, and it ends up in an easy 2.
I was blocked in that play, but I love the passing underneath.
Yeah, they could have passed it 8 times. We were blocked off, but it ended up with a layup, so we'll take it. 28-12. Carolina now up 16. Connect tries to drive, sends it in the corner to Gainey. Tar Heels recover nicely defensively. Driving hard on the left and missing the layup is Meshack, but a foul called on the rebound. I believe it's going to be on Trimble. So that's the first on the sophomore, 3rd on Carolina. So that'll keep the possession with Tennessee, as Ziegler going to check back in and replace Meshack. 10:53 to go. Tar Heels 28, Tennessee 12. Inbounds goes to Connect. Quick catch and shoot 3. Boy, that was Trimble in his face, and Connect knocks it home. Tough shot. That's the first 3 that Tennessee has made, and it's 28-15. Zayden High quickly goes left sideline with the pass to Cormac Ryan. Jab step, drive. He takes heavy contact, can't finish the layup, but he does get the foul. Good effort. I mean, it's not going to count, but good effort by Zayden High, too. He flew in there and tipped it in, even though it ends up not counting. The foul's on Ziegler, his first. 3rd on Tennessee, and Ryan goes back to the line.
Tell you what, his ankle looked pretty good on that drive. Pretty aggressive. Yeah. Didn't seem like he was favoring it at all.
A nervous moment, because when High tipped it in, he kind of fell into the legs of Cormac Ryan, but everybody got out of there unscathed as Ryan hits the free throw. Here comes Ingram back into the game. He'll replace High. So the freshman with some quality energy minutes, which he has provided more times than not when he's come in this year. Tar Heels have scored on 7 consecutive possessions now with that free throw by Ryan. It's 29-15. A brief pause to let Connect tie his shoe. And the second free throw from Ryan is good. So the Tar Heels, this is now an extended 15-3 run for Carolina. Just told you, they've been scoring a bunch. 30-15. We haven't even played 10 minutes. It's 30-15. Tennessee around the perimeter. Gainey drives on the left. What a job by Trimble to move his feet and cut him off on the baseline. Volunteers have to send it back out and reset. The dangerous connect. Drives on an angle left side. Drops it off to James, and he is able to hammer it home. Jalen Washington got tangled up and just couldn't stay with him. And James goes in and throws it down. Baycott's going to check back in, as will Cadeau for Carolina, the next dead ball. Trimble floats a pass to Washington on the right baseline. Strong move, but Vescovy dives down and takes it away from him. Washington didn't see the guard from Tennessee coming down to double. Volunteers the other way. Ziegler out to James. Pump fake drive. He's going to get another easy bucket as Washington fell for the pump fake. Back-to-back defensive miscues by Jalen Washington. James takes advantage and is 30-19. The smattering of Tennessee fans trying to make some noise here in the Smith Center. 9:30 to go. First half. R.J. Davis, boy, a quick three. And he banked it in. Banked it center square, and it drops. There's a foul as well. I think Tennessee has been called for a rebounding foul.
Yeah, it looked like it.
And Carolina's going to get the bucket from Davis and a foul called on Tennessee's Zakai Ziegler. That's his second and fourth on Tennessee. So Carolina's going to have possession and get the 3 points.
That looked inadvertent, but we're usually getting those calls against us. I'll take that call.
And I think the officials are going to go take a look at the monitor. Rick Barnes is arguing with Ron Groover. 9:26 to go. And now Hubert Davis is asking for an explanation. 33-19 is the score. So they're going to go under the hood. Take your Tar Heel tailgate to the next level with a new Honda. See your Honda dealer of the Carolinas today. The two parties involved here are Ziegler for Tennessee and Seth Trimble for Carolina. And Ron Gruber, that was a fast replay, and Ron Gruber says, let's go. We're sticking with the call. So it is going to be a foul on Ziegler and Carolina's basketball. So that's 2 fouls on Ziegler. The three-pointer made by R.J. Davis is the 6th three that Carolina has made in 12 attempts. That one, we just happened to be looking down the line when he shot it. It didn't look good when it left his hand, but, it's center square and in. And R.J. has 6 points for the Heels. So Carolina will inbound it baseline left, 9:26 to go in the first half. Tar Heels up by 14. They flip it inbounds to Baycott. He'll send it out to Cadeau. In the left corner to Ingram. Ingram slowly backing in. Double team comes. He hooks it home. Over connect for 2. Boy, he quickly moved into the paint as the double team came his way and finished with that right-handed hook. That's a good shot for him. We've seen it. James, who's had a couple of good baskets here for Tennessee as of late, gets another as he drives to the left elbow and hits the mid-range jumper. He has 8 to pace the balls.
Yeah, tough matchup right there.
Baycott and I believe Trimble got a little tangled up defensively as Cadeau drives hard, sends it to Trimble in the corner left. Trimble all the way to the rim, goes up and under, and scoops it home. Boy, what an athletic play by Trimble as he went all the way down the baseline left and finished on the right side. 37-21. Trimble knocks it away from Vescovy, and then Vescovy fouled him. That's the first on the veteran guard for Tennessee. And then Clarence Armstrong was trying to get the ball from Vescovy, and he rolled it away from him, and those two had an extra word. That is the 5th foul on Tennessee. Carolina will sub in Paxson Wojcik for the first time as Wojcik will replace Cormac Ryan. So Carolina has Cadeau, Trimble, Wojcik, Ingram, and Baycott, the 5 on the floor. 37-21. This matches the largest lead for the Tar Heels here in the first half of 16. Wojcik passes right corner to Ingram. Gets it down to Baycott. Right back to Seth, who lays it in.
Great cut. Great pass.
Boy, Trimble coming off a career high. And Trimble called for the foul on the other side as he was trying to get in the business of Meshack. And that is the 2nd foul on Trimble. fourth on Carolina, but the second on the really talented sophomore who has taken some steps coming off that career high last game, and he's been effective here early in this one.
He has a tough matchup now going against Connect.
Right now, though, it's Meshack trying to drive on Ingram. Gets deep, pivots, pumps. Boy, nice move, but he couldn't finish. Rebound tipped into the hands of Cadeau. Cadeau on the run with the rest of his teammates. Finds Bacon underneath. Foul! Give it to him! And he's heading to the line. The freshman started it, and the veteran finished it.
Great pace right there. When you push it that hard, you can't get back quick enough. It's tough on the defense.
Baycott with the bucket. He'll have a chance for three after this timeout. Adu, the foul. That's his second. So now Adu and Ziegler, each with 2 fouls for Tennessee. And suddenly the Tar Heels are up 20. 41-21 with 7:55 to play in the first half. Baycott to the stripe when we return. Carolina shooting 67% and leading it by 20 from Learfield. It's not often that both teams are shooting 60% or better, and one of those teams leads by 20. That's the case. Carolina on some of those Lenovo stats, brought to you by Lenovo, a global technology leader that has called North Carolina home since 2005. Lenovo.com. Lenovo, smarter technology for all. Carolina's 14 of 21 from the field, 6 of 12 from 3, 7 of 7 at the free throw line. Tennessee's 9 of 15 shooting, and 1 of 4 from 3, 2 of 2 at the stripe. But just a couple things have helped Carolina. Well, several things. Tennessee's turned it over some, and that's allowed 6 turnovers for Tennessee's turned into 14 Carolina points. The Tar Heels have 4 offensive rebounds that have led to 7 second chance opportunities. And Pete, the bench, everybody is contributing. Tar Heels have 17 bench points to 0 for Tennessee right now.
And take away the points, they're just being very active out there. I didn't notice any drop-off on the defense. A couple of possessions, there were some laps, but I think the energy level across the board has been outstanding. The rebounding, very, very good.
Carolina 10-3 advantage in rebounds as well. A reminder that Carolina basketball is brought to you in part by the Good Feet store. Foot, knee, hip, or back pain. Good Feet arch supports are engineered to support all 4 arches to provide pain relief, balance, and comfort. Try them for yourself. Book your free fitting today at goodfeet.com. So Baycott will have an opportunity to complete the 3-point play. Tar Heels keep Cadeau, Trimble, Wojcik, Ingram, and Baycott as the 5 on the floor. 41-21, Tar Heels with 7:55 to go, and Baycott strips the net on the free throw. He's now 27 of 31 on the season at the free throw line. So Carolina has Tennessee doubled up as Gainey gets all the way from coast to coast. Too easy on that one. Hubert Davis not happy. And then the Tar Heels turn it over on the other side as Cadeau had a long pass ahead to Trimble, but he was on the sideline. But Wojcik and Ingram got tangled up defensively, and Gainey took advantage of it and just went coast to coast for the bucket.
It's a big stretch right here to finish the half out strong.
Carolina 42, Tennessee 23. Connect taken away by Ingram. Ingram doesn't have the numbers, but he's going to go hard anyway and draw the foul. He wipes hard into the seats. Think he's okay. He pops right back up. And the foul is on Vescovy. That's his second. So now you have Adu, Ziegler, and Vescovy all with 2 fouls for Tennessee. So the Tar Heels are in the bonus, but this will be a 2-shot opportunity regardless for Ingram as he was in the act of shooting. Vescovy vehemently arguing with Clarence Armstrong about the foul call. Those two have already had a couple of run-ins tonight.
Yeah, that was maybe a questionable call, but I think when you push the ball, get that turnover, it puts them in a tough situation.
Ingram hits the free throw. R.J. Davis will come in. He is going to get Trimble. So Trimble will get a nice round of applause. He gave Carolina a big spark off the bench. So it'll be Davis and Cadeau in the backcourt, along with Wojcik, Ingram, and Baycott, the 5 on the floor. Free throw by Ingram makes it 43-23, and now 44-23 as he makes them both. Tar Heels going to show some token pressure in the backcourt. get the ball out of the hands of Gainey. He gets it to James. A quick catch-and-shoot three. No good by Carr, fresh into the game. And then an over-the-back call on the rebound as J.P. Estrella went over the back of Baycott. Baycott had him sealed for the rebound, so the foul on Estrella, his first, 8th on Tennessee. So 1-1 for Baycott. That shot was taken by Cameron Carr, a 6'5 freshman, into the game, and he's now out of the game for Tennessee. He didn't play at all in the Maui Invitational. Gets in early, takes a quick shot, and is going to sit down.
That was a tough shot.
So this is a 1-1 for Baycott. And it crawls in, so he'll get the back half. 45-23. Carolina by 22.
I spent a lot of time this summer working on free throws with Armando. He can tell the difference.
He can thank you, huh? He has always been a solid free throw shooter, but he has taken it to a different level here early in the year and makes that one as well. So he is 5 of 5 at the line tonight. Carolina again with a double team in the backcourt. Tennessee able to get it ahead, though, to James. He'll bring it front side and hit the free throw line jumper. James has 10 of the 25 points for Tennessee. 46-25, Carolina by 21. Cadeau brings it front side, right side for Carolina. Meshack defending him. Cadeau on the pick and roll to Baycott. Goes hard on the right, kisses it off the glass, but a little bit short. Rebound to Tennessee. A rare empty possession for the Tar Heels, who have been so good offensively. James taken away by Ingram, but he couldn't gather the loose ball. It falls to connect, and he gets the easy layup. Boy, Ingram, eyes got big. He had knocked it away, but couldn't quite grab it. And that allowed it to squirt to Tennessee. Wojcik to R.J. Davis as Cormac Ryan's come to the scorer's table. Carolina's lead is currently 19, 46-27. Tennessee scored the last 4 points. Davis with the big man guarding him. Kicks it over to Cadeau. Drives in, dumps it off, but it was tipped out of bounds by Tennessee. So with 6:19 to play first half and 7 on the shot clock, Carolina is going to inbound at baseline left. Ryan will replace Wojcik. So it's Cadeau, Davis, Ryan, Ingram, Baycott as the 5 on the floor. Baycott's all tangled up with the freshman Estrella as they both fight for position on the low left block before this inbound. Ingram flips it to Baycott. Connect came and hacked at him. Tar Heels kick it out. R.J. Davis late in the shot clock, misses the jumper. Baycott tries to tip the rebound, and he does, but to Tennessee. Volunteers have scored 4 straight, trying to add to it. Carolina, though, with the 19-point lead. 46-27, 6 minutes to go. Connect, long, quick 3, no good. Rebound to Harrison Ingram at the free throw line. He'll underhand it to Cadeau, finds Baycott down the center of the floor for the hammer. Timeout, Tennessee. Cadeau is working magic in the open court right now.
Very, very impressive how we're turning that defense into quick, easy baskets.
I mean, Cadeau he has now 4 assists, and Pete, at least 3 of them are when he's pushed it, either by his own dribble and then the pass, or in that case, the chest pass from about, just maybe a step or 2 inside the center jump circle to Baycott, who was right in the middle of the lane.
He seems like he's making the right decision every time.
Baycott now up to 13 points, also has 3 rebounds. This comes off a stretch where Armando did not hit double figures in either of the last 2 games, Villanova and Arkansas. First time since the 21 season that he had gone back-to-back games in single digits. So he is now 4 of 5 from the floor, 5 of 5 at the free throw line. Ingram has 12, so Baycott 13, Ingram 12. Tennessee is led by James, who has 10. Tar Heels have led by as many as 23. Currently up by 21, 48-27, with 5:51 to play in the first half. Meshack will bring it front side for Tennessee. Cadeau there guarding him between the circles. Over to, there's a foul. It was over to Gainey, who tried to get it down low to connect. Cormac Ryan tried to sneak around from behind and tip it away, but was called for the foul. His first, 5th on Carolina. So it'll just be an inbound for the Volunteers. 5:41 to go first half. Carolina 48, Tennessee 27. Balls Still trying to get it in, and finally they do with a long pass out to connect. A quick three, missed, but an offensive rebound for Tennessee. The shot was taken and missed by James, and now Cadeau gets a steal. Going the other way, can't finish. Ryan cleans it up, though, for two. Here come the Volunteers the other way. Back to a 23-point Carolina lead, matching their largest. Backdoor connect, and finishes against the challenge by Baycott. Tough shot by Connect. He and James are keeping Tennessee moving slightly offensively, although Carolina's up by 21. Cadeau, right corner, catch and shoot three by Ryan. Short, Baycott in between two Volunteers, can't get the rebound. Here comes Tennessee the other way. Flying down the paint and getting tied up by Ingram is Cade Phillips, who's fresh into the game, and the ball just goes out of bounds off Ingram. So nice job by the Stanford transfer to stop the break as Phillips, 6'9" freshman from Jacksonville, Alabama, into the game for the first time. Tar Heels will sub out Cadeau, and in comes Trimble. Now, Trimble does have 2 fouls as Gainey, quick catch and shoot three, no good, and a foul on the rebound. Going to be called on Cade Phillips, who's wearing the clear mask to protect his nose area, but he apparently pushed Baycott on the rebound attempt. So foul on Phillips, his first. That's 9 on Tennessee. And so it will be a 1-and-1 for Baycott. Tar Heels with the advantage, 50-29, 4:51 to go before the half.
I'd like to see him extend the lead a little bit, at least hold this lead last 5 minutes here. We got to make sure we don't have any laps. We have a great effort so far, defensively especially.
Free throw good by Baycott. So he'll get the back half of the 1-and-1. Tar Heel students clap their hands in unison. Hold their hands up as Baycott swishes it. Jalen Withers, who's been on the bench for a while, is going to replace Baycott. So the Tar Heels will be a little smaller here as they have Davis, Trimble, Ryan, Ingram, and Withers as the 5 on the floor. Carolina up by 23, 52-29. Gainey finds Meshack, drives hard, and scores from the right. Tennessee's had a couple of moments like that where they have gone hard to the rim, and it's paid off for them. I mean, Tennessee's shooting 58%. But Carolina is up by 21. Ryan, the drive and the pitch out to Trimble, but taken away by Connect, who finishes with 2 hands on the break and hangs on the rim for a little extra effort. Down to a 19-point Tar Heel lead. R.J. Davis weaves by Meshack, goes in the corner to Trimble. He'll try the 3, no good, and rebound to Tennessee. Tar Heels hitting a little bit of a funk here, and then the Volunteers, almost turned it over. Ingram tipped the pass before it got to James, and it went out of bounds. 4:01 to play. 52-33. Carolina with the 19-point lead. It's been as large as 23. Inbounds goes to Meshack on the left wing. Goes down low to Connect. Good double team there, but a foul is called on the floor before Connect could catch and shoot on Withers, who was coming over to double team. So the foul on Withers, his second, and 6th on the Tar Heels. So now you have Trimble and Withers, each with 2 fouls for Carolina. Adu, Ziegler, and Vescovy have 2 fouls for Tennessee. So Tar Heels have led by as many as 23, currently up by 19. 52-33 with 3:56 to go before the half here in the Smith Center from Learfield. .356 to go in the first half. Carolina 52, Tennessee 33. Harris Teeter is the official grocery store of the Tar Heels and offers everything you need for the perfect game day. From subs to pizza to snacks and drinks, they have you covered. Plus, they offer great ways to save every day with fuel points, eVic, and HT Plus. Visit harristeeter.com for more information. Got a bunch of Lenovo stats we want to give you, but first let's break 10 seconds. Station ID down the lines on the Tar Heel Sports Network. Those stats presented by Lenovo. Visit Lenovo.com. Smarter technology for all. Couple of random ones. Cadeau has 4 assists. That's how many the whole Tennessee team has so far. 16 minutes and 4 seconds into the game. And with the Heels having 52 points, it's the third time in the last 4 games that Carolina's had at least one half of 50-plus points. At 56 in the second half against Northern Iowa, 52 in the second half against Arkansas. Now, Tennessee is shooting 15 of 25. That's 60%. Carolina only has one more field goal than Tennessee. The Heels are 16 of 28. That's 57%. But Carolina's made 6 3-pointers. Tennessee just 1. And the Tar Heels have 14 made free throws. Tennessee just 2. So that's how it adds up to Carolina with the advantage here. As Connect on the drive and is wiped out by Baycott, who had come over to help after Connect had gotten by Ingram. And Baycott picks up his first foul. And, Pete, one thing that Tennessee has been able to do effectively is that drive, particularly down the middle. They're spreading the defense out and then kind of going one-on-one down the gut. And they've been able to get to the rim a couple of times.
Yeah, several times. I mean, they got some obviously quality players doing that, but I think we got to be a little bit better on the defensive end as far as helping out a little bit, maybe getting lower, make them work for those shots a little harder.
Connect hits the free throw. He has all 3 attempts for Tennessee, and he's made all 3. 52-34 with 3:52 to go. Carolina's led by as many as 23, but now Tennessee is within 17. And they're going to show some pressure in the backcourt as Baycott gets it into Cadeau. Cadeau, long pass ahead to Ryan. Ryan had to fight through some traffic to get it, and now eases it back up to Cadeau. Tennessee trying to get the easy possession there, but couldn't do it. Cadeau on the drive. Euro step. Doesn't get the roll. Baycott tips it, but it won't go either. A couple of good looks there, but it just wouldn't drop. Tennessee trying to increase its comeback here as the Tar Heels eventually are going to get the ball. As the ball was thrown down low, Davis tipped it free. Looked like Tennessee was going to get it back, but Cade Phillips couldn't handle it and lost it out of bounds. So bit of a fortunate bounce there for Carolina as Tennessee again is going to pick up full court. Tar Heels have Cadeau, Davis, and Cormac Ryan all in the backcourt. Ingram trying to get it in, does to Cadeau. Long pass ahead up the sideline to Davis. He'll push. Davis scoops it up and in over the challenge of Cade Phillips. What a finish.
Nice.
8 points for Davis. 54-35. Tar Heels get the lead back to 19. Ryan fighting off the ball against Connect. That is not easy to do. Meshack has it for Tennessee on the right sideline. Trying to back in against R.J. Davis. Kicks it in the corner. Driving there is James. Out to Gainey. Pump fake. Pulls up for the long 2 and swishes it in. Tennessee has hit some tough shots here. They've hit a couple long 2-point jumpers. As Carolina quickly pitches ahead to R.J. Davis. He's going to go right to the cup and scoops it up and under. 2 more for Davis.
That was a great finish. I like that drive.
56-37. Tennessee is shooting 61.5%, and the Tar Heels are up by 19 points. Meshack on the drive, almost traveled. Kicks it out to Gainey. Open look. It spins out. Rebound, batted around, ends up to Tennessee and Cade Phillips. Phillips out to James. Loses the ball on the drive, but a foul is called. See which Tar Heel picks it up. It's going to be Cadeau, and that's his second. So you've got now Cadeau, Trimble, and Withers all with 2 fouls. Cadeau has fouled out of back-to-back games. 2:14 to go before the half, and looks like Brad Frederick, after chatting with Coach Davis, goes and gets Jalen Withers. See if he gets Cadeau. He will. Now, Withers has 2 fouls also.
One of the benefits of being so deep, you got some pieces out there that can afford to maybe get an extra foul, but we got to finish out here in the last 2 minutes.
Carolina's led by as many as 23, up by 19, and now 18 as James hits the front end of the 1-and-1. The two teams are a combined 19 of 19 at the free throw line.
Wow, that free throw defense is not very good.
hadn't gotten any better for the Heels. 56-38 and 56-39. So now with Cadeau on the bench, you do lose a ball handler, but Tennessee eases up on the pressure. Meshack will just shadow Davis as he comes front side. 20 on the shot clock for R.J. Davis. Bounce pass in the post. It goes to Baycott. Let's see if Tennessee doubles as Baycott battling. Kicks it over to Ingram. Open look for three from the right. Swishes it home. Boy, what a pass by Baycott. If you double him, he can make you pay with a pass like that as he went from the left block to the right sideline with the pass. And Ingram dropped it home to make the lead 20. Backdoor, Ingram knocks it away, but it kicks around to Tennessee. A couple of bounces have been fortunate for the Vols here on some loose balls. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Meshack backs up. 7 seconds. Meshack trying to drive against R.J. Davis. Out to Gainey. Guarded three, no good. And a rebound picked up off the bounce by Withers. To R.J. Davis. Cross court to Ingram. Extra pass to Ryan. Back to Ingram. Another three. Just a little short. Baycott ends up on the deck for the rebound. Tennessee the other way. They'll find Gainey in transition. Feet set. That's almost money, but it bounces out on the transition triple. Rebound to Baycott, getting back in the action. 59-39. Carolina by 20 and with the basketball. R.J. Davis going to back up. Now sends the pass over to Ingram. Ingram holding high. Baycott working for position down low. To Ryan, now to Davis. Shot clock at 11. Davis, right corner, it goes to Withers. Withers between the legs, drives baseline, tried to pass it to Ingram and turned it over. Here comes Tennessee the other way. Tar Heels up by 20 with 35 seconds to go in the half. The dangerous connect, guarded by Ryan, flips it to James. Shot clock down to 17 for the Volunteers. About a 10-11 second difference as Connect almost tried to bank in the three, no good. And Carolina gets the rebound. They may take a timeout, which they will. They're going to take the use it or lose it timeout here with 17.5 seconds to go to try and set up this final possession. The Heels have led by as many as 23. They are currently up by 20, 59-39. Carolina has 4 players in double figures in the first half. Baycott and Ingram each with 15. 10 apiece for Davis and Ryan. 5 for Jalen Washington, 4 for Seth Trimble as well. Connect and James have combined for 27 of Tennessee's 39 points. 15 for Connect and 12 for James. 17 and a half seconds to go. Carolina by 20 late in the first half. 59-39. This is the highest scoring half that Carolina has had this year, surpassing the 56 that they scored in the second half against Northern Iowa. Pete, it's been impressive.
I tell you what, Tennessee is not playing poorly. I mean, you take away their 1 for 12 from three-point land, they're really, really efficient in their half court.
They're 15 of 18 from 2-point range.
That's amazing. The free throw line's hurting them. Turnovers are hurting them a little bit. The three-point shooting, but we got to be careful to take care of that at halftime. Make sure we get out of this first half with a good shot right here.
Cadeau back in for this offensive possession. So Cadeau, Davis, Ryan, Ingram, Baycott. Cadeau goes in the backcourt. He can do that to get the inbounds. He'll walk it front side. Crosses the timeline with 12 seconds. Down to 9. Tar Heels up by 20. Cadeau one-on-one with Meshack. Cormac Ryan tries to get into the corner to Ingram. It's tipped. Back out to Ryan. His jumper at the buzzer. No good, but he's fouled. Meshack undercut Ryan as he elevated for the 2-point jumper. And it will be the first on Meshack. Ron Groover is going to double check to make sure the shot was taken before the clock ran out, which in real time I think it was, but of course we'll have to wait and see as they take a trip under the hood presented by the Honda dealers of the Carolinas. Take your Tar Heel tailgate to the next level with the new Honda.
Ooh,
see your Honda dealer of the Carolinas today. So they are going to take a look. Pete, you saw a replay. What'd you think?
Very close.
Ryan. Yep. Got it out of his hands. I mean, right as the buzzer sounded and the light went on. In fact, they're going to put 1/10 of a second back on the clock. And Ryan will go to the free throw line for 2 shots. So, again, the foul was on Meshack, his first. It's the 10th on Tennessee, but it was a shooting foul anyway. So, 2 shots for Cormac Ryan.
It's when the foul's committed, correct? It's not when a shot leaves his hand.
Correct, yeah. So, in that instance, yes. Yeah. So, Ryan will have 2 shots. Knocks in the first. He's up to 11 points. The Tar Heels have 60 points at halftime. Well, right before halftime. Maybe even one more with Ryan at the line. Got them both. So 61-39. Tennessee will inbound it to tick off that final 10th. But what a half for Carolina here in the Smith Center. The Tar Heels shoot 57.5%. They hit 7 3-pointers. They go a perfect 16 of 16 at the free throw line. They get 20 points off of turnovers. They have 9 second chance points. What else do you want? 13 assists on 19 field goals. What a clinic from Carolina in half number 1. 61-39, our score at the break. Dave will take you through the Wells Fargo halftime show after this. Carolina up big at the break from Learfield. Tar Heels have their highest scoring half of the season and their most points in a half since they scored 62 in the first half against Florida State in February of 2022. It is 61-39, Carolina at the half. Let's take a look at what's important in half number 2. That is the trusted choice of the game. Brought to you by the Trusted Choice Independent Insurance Agents of North Carolina. They want you to stay safe behind the wheel and put down your phone while driving. So let's have a hands-free NC. To learn more and find an agent near you, visit trustedchoice.com/GoHeels. Pete, what in your mind is going to be important here in the second half for Carolina to continue this quality play?
Yeah, as a young athlete, one of the hardest things to do is have great success and then come out and maintain that same intensity that got you that success. So we got to play hard. We got to play like it's 0-0, and it's easier to say than it really is to do, but we got to stay focused, take the really great shots we're going to get, and come out like it's the beginning of the game. It's going to be hard to do that. They're going to make a run. They're a really good team, but if we have that mentality, I think we'll be okay.
Tennessee's going to have 3 guys starting the second half who have 2 fouls. Jonas Adu, Zakai Ziegler, and Santiago Vescovi. Carolina is going to start with Cadeau, Davis, Ryan, Ingram, and Baycott. And Cadeau does have 2 fouls, as do Trimble and Withers. They will not be starting, though, in the second half. So these are 4 of the 5 starters from the first half for Carolina. It's just Ryan instead of Withers starting the second half. Tennessee's going to have the ball first. They won the opening tip, and then Carolina got 1 jump ball in the first half. So Tennessee's going to have the basketball first with Carolina up 61-39. Going to the second half here in Chapel Hill. Volunteers working it around the perimeter. Ziegler guarded by Cadeau. Shot clock down to 12. Out to James. Wants Adu. Gets it to him at the ACC logo. His tough turnaround is good. Adu, tough shot with Baycott in his face. Again, Tennessee has shot well and hit some tough shots at times. And Adu making the first possession pay off with points. Carolina going left to right as we see it here in the second half. Ingram to an open Ryan on the right wing. Bounces down low to Baycott. Goes hard at Adu and returns the favor for 2.
You'd like to see that.
Right in front of the rim. Ziegler to a trailing James. Over on the left side to connect back up middle of the floor to Ziegler. 1 minute gone by in the second half. Carolina by 22. Ziegler around a screen. Gets deep. Weaves through, dumps it off, gets it back now to Adu with 8 on the shot clock. Hands off to Connect. Connect over to Vescovi. Down low to Adu. He's going to get the bucket and draw a foul as Baycott pushed him in the back as he was trying to recover defensively on the play. Carolina played good defense for about 25 seconds, and then all of a sudden got a little mixed up. And Adu, who has both the buckets for Tennessee this half, will have a chance for 3. That's also the second foul on Baycott.
Yeah, so I'm talking about it not only physically, but mentally. You got to be kind of really stay into these games
Free throw by Adu is good. Still, the two teams are a perfect 23 of 23 from the free throw line. 63-44. Carolina's lead is 19. R.J. Davis against tight defense from Ziegler. Gets it in the post to Baycott. Double team comes. Baycott moves around it and hooks it home. Back-to-back buckets for Baycott. So Adu and Baycott, the big men, doing the work here early in the second half. Tennessee goes back to Adu, stripped away by Baycott, but he's going to get called for his third foul. So this has been a concerted effort from Tennessee to get the ball, although now the officials are talking. Yeah, they are going to call it on Baycott. R.J. Davis was there, but now Baycott has 3 fouls. He's picked up 2 in the first minute and 42 seconds of the second half, and here comes Jalen Washington. The official's going to decide. He'll have to replace Baycott. The official's going to decide if this is a shooting foul or not. And it is not. Everybody's lined up like it's a free throw, but Ron Gruber takes the ball to the baseline and says, no, it's just an inbound. Shot clock needs to be reset to 20. 18-18 to go. Carolina 65, Tennessee 44. The officials coming to make sure the clock is right. They set it to 23, which is if it's above 20 when the foul's called, it stays there. Now we've got all that circled out. Bad news is, though, Baycott with his 19 points is now on the bench with 3 fouls. Becomes the first Tar Heel with 3. Open look 4-3 for Tennessee is no good. Rebound by Cormac Ryan in traffic. It was James who missed it for the Vols. Cadeau gets pinballed around, kicks it left corner to Ingram for the triple. Another assist for Cadeau. He has 7. Ziegler, front side for the Volunteers. Carolina's lead now its largest of the game at 24. Connect will try and answer the 3, and he does it. Got free behind a screen. Can't let him have that clean a look. He is too good. 18 for Connect to lead the Volunteers scoring. Also 12 for James. Carolina has 19 by Baycott, 18 Ingram, 12 Ryan, 10 for R.J. Davis. 68-47. Carolina's lead is 21. Cadeau out to an open Ryan. Feet set his 3. Yes, sir! Ryan with the triple. 71-47. Hubert Davis hopping mad on the sideline about Carolina getting in defensive position. Ziegler looking down low for Adu. Washington fronted him. Sends it over to James. Now to Connect around the perimeter. Left-handed dribble to the top. Dumps it to Vescovy on the baseline left. Vescovy trying to back in against R.J. Davis. Spins and lost the basketball. It'll belong to Carolina. Frustrating night for Vescovy continues. 17:03 to go. Carolina with the 71-47 lead. Tennessee picking up with some full court pressure, trying to get back in the ball game here. Inbounds goes from Ingram to Cadeau, and once he gets it in, Tennessee does ease up. Cadeau crosses over past Vescovy, gets deep, dumps it off, and a foul is called. I'm going to tell you now, Cadeau is a difference maker. We have seen it some during this beginning of the year. You saw it coming during the Bahamas. That foul, by the way, on Vescovy, his 3rd. And, Pete, it's been on display tonight.
He gets where he wants to. He's not always barely ever trying to score, but he's getting into those spots where it makes it dangerous to, for the defense. It makes those correct passes every time.
Inbounds is knocked away from Washington by Adu. Out of bounds, so Carolina's going to have to inbound it again in that tough corner where they had a difficult inbound in the first half. Still waiting to see who the trigger man is. It's going to be Cormac Ryan. He is trying to throw it in on the sideline. Bert Smith keeps roping him closer and closer to that corner. Ryan knows that this is a tough spot. Does get it in to Cadeau, and Carolina will now set up in the half court. Backdoor to Ryan. Oh, he blew the easy layup. Boy, it was a great play. It just didn't finish off with points. Meanwhile, Adu, mid-range jumper, no good, but getting inside for the tip-in is Josiah Jordan-James. Ingram trying to get it inbounds against the Tennessee pressure, does to Cadeau. 71-49, Carolina by 22. Tar Heels have hit some big-time shots today and then missed one of the easier ones they've had all day. Cadeau, hesitation, misses. Washington, the two-handed flush with the rebound finish. Jalen has given Carolina some good minutes. He has 7, and he's battling in the post against Adu right now. Connect on the drive, sends it out to James. His 3, that's good. Boy, both teams red hot here at the beginning of the second half. Tennessee is 5 of 7. Carolina's 5 of 7. Each team's hit 2 3-pointers. 73-52. Carolina by 21. Cadeau front side with 15:48 to go in the second half. Dribbling in the center jump circle. Cadeau shoots it. Shoelace is untied as he goes strong and draws the foul against Gainey as he drove hard left of the lane. First foul on Gainey, second on Tennessee, and Cadeau will go to the free throw line when action resumes. So both teams have started this half hot, and both teams have shot well all night. I mean, Carolina is shooting 60% for the game, 24 of 40. Tennessee is shooting 57%, 21 of 37. 15:42 to go, second half. Carolina 73, Tennessee 52. Cadeau at the line when we return from Learfield. Tar Heels 73, Tennessee 52. 15:42 to play in the Smith Center. Modelo, proud to sponsor Carolina basketball. Modelo is an official beer of the Tar Heels, and our coverage today is presented by Window World, the Triangle's most trusted premier replacement window, siding, and door company. Jones Angel and Pete Chilcutt here with you in the Smith Center. You've heard from Dave Nathan and Adam Lucas as well. Jody Zoigner providing great stat work. Ben Alexander, our chief network engineer, and John Essick back in our Tar Heel Sports Network studio. So Cadeau to the line for 2 shots. If he makes one or both of these, it will be his first points of the game. But Pete, he has 8 assists. The last Tar Heel freshman to have 10 assists in a game was Marcus Page. That was back on March 15th of 2013, an ACC tournament game against Florida State. The last Tar Heel freshman to have more than 10 assists in a game was Kendall Marshall, NCAA tournament. He had 14 against Washington. That was in the second round of the 2011 NCAA tournament in Charlotte. So don't know if Cadeau will get there, but he has 8 right now, and, man, he's been impressive.
Yeah, he's finding the right guy at the right time. A lot of those are coming on the break, finding the right pass. Talk about easy step into it, threes, layups. It's really impressive to see him as he starts to develop more aggression on offense to get his own shot as well. He's going to be an awful lot for teams to handle.
Last Tar Heel in total to have 10 or more assists in a game was R.J. Davis. He had a career-high 12 against Marquette. That was in the first round of the 2022 NCAA tournament. So, and the Tar Heels have needed that offense because, gracious, Tennessee's playing good offense. For the Volunteers, James and Connect have 35 of their 52 points. Connect has 18. James with 17. It's a season high for James. And for Carolina, as Cadeau to the free throw line. First free throw, no good. It's the first miss by either team today. Carolina had been 16 of 16. Tennessee's 7 of 7. And he missed them both. So Cadeau, just a 52.5% shooter, misses both free throws. And it's 73-52. Jalen Washington really battling with Adu. Forces a tough turnaround that's too strong, and then Washington gets the rebound. Good defense by Washington. Cadeau, the alley-oop. Washington has to come down with it. Kicks it left corner to R.J. Davis for 3. It maybe didn't work out perfectly, but golly, it worked out all right in the end. Connect the other way, and a quick foul is called as Cormac Ryan going to be called for the foul. His second, team foul number 3 on Carolina. The three-pointer by Davis gives him 13 points and stretches Carolina's lead out to 24. Cadeau's going to get a breather as Trimble checks in. So Davis, Trimble, Ryan, Ingram, Washington, the 5 on the floor. Baycott has 3 fouls as the quick catch and shoot 3. Man, Connect on the inbounds, knocks it in.
Such a smooth shot.
Yeah, he has 21 now. Trimble was trying to stay with him, got hit on a screen, and was able to recover to challenge the shot, but Connect only needs about a millimeter of airspace to rise, and such a good-looking shot, as Pete alluded to. So 76-55. Trimble dribbling out in the center jump circle. Now he's going to attack right of the lane. Has his shot blocked. The loose ball, it was last touched by Jalen Washington. And so it's going to belong to Tennessee. 76-55. Largest lead for Carolina has been 24. It is currently 21. Adu quickly with a little hook shot from about the ACC logo. Adu's come alive in the second half. And Tennessee's back within 19. The Volunteers are 7 of 10 this half. Carolina 6 of 9. Each team's hit three-pointers as well. Davis, big Euro step into the paint, and he's fouled at the end of the play. If that's on Adu, it is not. It is on Ziegler. That's Ziegler's third foul. So he becomes the second Volunteer along with Vescovy with 3 fouls. Carolina has Baycott on the bench with 3. And that's going to send R.J. Davis to the line for 2 shots.
I like what Tennessee's doing on offense. They're not settling for those bad threes. They're working the ball inside. If we catch us on a cold streak, they can make a little run. So hopefully we get some good shots.
Free throw good by Davis. So Connect now has 21, 3 off his season high. James has 17. That is a season high for him. And Davis makes both free throws. So he now is up to 15. He entered as Carolina's leading scorer, averaging better than 18 per game. As the pass is knocked away by Washington in the paint, both teams dive to the floor. It's going to be a jump ball, I believe, and possession to Carolina. Boy, Washington, after Baycott picked up the 3 fouls, Washington has come in and done a serviceable job in the paint, playing some tough defense. Has a bucket as well.
Yeah, very active, makes some good passes out there, too.
78, that's right, had the pass to R.J. Davis. Carolina trying to get it in against the Tennessee pressure. They do to Ryan, and then his pass tipped away out of bounds by Ziegler. Now, you've only got one guard out there right now. It's R.J. Davis. Well, Trimble's out there too, excuse me. So you do have 2 ball handlers, plus Ryan's a good ball handler. Inbounds goes to Ryan. Carolina trying to make Tennessee pay for the pressure. Ryan hesitates. Now he's going to circle back out and set up. Over to R.J. Davis in the center jump circle. 13:55 to go. Carolina 78, Tennessee 57. R.J. Davis gets a handoff from Trimble. He's going to elevate for the tough 3. Boy, he airballed it. Jalen Washington, though, hustles, saves the possession. It goes to Trimble. He hangs in the air, can't finish. Gets his own rebound. Shot clock, though, almost, well, it did run out. Carolina saved the possession a couple of times, but never hit the rim. As R.J. Davis airballed the initial 3, then Trimble's shot was blocked at the rim. Never touched it, so even though great effort by Carolina, ends up in a shot clock violation. Gainey is fouled on the drive right of the lane. I think it was Jalen Washington. It was. That's his first. And Baycott's going to come to the scorer's table. That's the 4th foul on Carolina this half. There have been 7 fouls called already between the 2 teams. Washington going to get a nice round of applause as he came in and played well in the post. Baycott enters again with 13:30 to go and 3 fouls. Got to be careful. Tar Heels up 78-57. Tennessee still 7 of 10 from the field this half. As Trimble can't stop the 3 on the inbound connect. Tennessee's run that play about 4 times. And they've made it every time, and that gets Carolina's lead down to 18. Connect is 3 of 3 from 3 this half. He is 8 of 11 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3, 4 of 4 at the free throw line, and has 24 points, matching his season high. Ingram on the other side for Carolina. Fumbles the basketball, gets it back. Trying to back in. Ingram working hard. His turnaround hook is too strong. Baycott tips the rebound, but to Tennessee. So the Vols with a little momentum. They've made their last 3 shots, and they're within 18. Connect on the drive, and he's able to lay it in. Connect has a new season high as Carolina gets the inbound to Trimble. It's going to turn to a 2-on-1. Bounces to Ryan, but what a recovery by Gainey and Tennessee as he gets the steal, and then Ryan called for the foul on the other side. Great effort by Gainey. He was the one in the 2-on-1, and he was able to block it free from Ryan. And then Ryan picks up his third foul.
Good stretch right there for Tennessee. They're playing very hard, make some good plays right there, knocking down shots. This is going to be a key stretch right here.
So Tennessee's made its last 4 shots. They are 9 of 12 this half. Carolina's missed its last 5. That's allowed Tennessee to creep within 16. The largest lead has been 24. Somebody guard that corner 3. Inbounds goes to James, to Ziegler. Cadeau came back in for Carolina. Ziegler goes in the corner to James, now to connect. Back to the basket on the left baseline against Ryan. Trying to back in against him. His tough turnaround, no good. And Ryan called for his 4th foul, challenging the shot. That is 3 fouls on Ryan this half and 4 for the game. That's now 6 fouls on Carolina this half. Tennessee's been called for 3, and Connect can lower this deficit down to 14 if he makes them both. Tar Heels do not have a field goal in nearly 3 minutes. So Connect swishes it home. Tennessee has yet to miss a free throw. They're 8 of 8. And Connect has been almost perfect. 9 of 12 from the field. 4 of 7 from 3. 5 of 5 from the free throw line. His career high is 34. He's at 27 now. 17 for James and 11 for Adu as well. It's a 6-0 run for Tennessee. They can make it 7 if this free throw goes. It's short. And Adu going to get called for the over-the-back foul as Baycott had him boxed out. 3rd foul on Adu and 4th on Tennessee. So now Adu, Ziegler, and Vescovy all have 3 fouls. First free throw missed by Tennessee. And that makes it 78-63 in total. The Tar Heels have led by as many as 24. But now Tennessee on this 6-0 spurt to cut it down to 15.
It's going to be good to see right here what Carolina wants to do. I'm assuming we're going to get the ball to Baycott, take some time off the clock, get some great shots, but Tennessee's not going to make it easy.
As the inbound was tipped away, it is out of bounds off Tennessee, and we are totally shielded. There is a player shaken up. I don't know if it is a Tar Heel or a volunteer. It's all happening right in front of the Tennessee bench. Looks like everybody's going to come out of there okay. And Ingram going to try and throw it in against this heavy pressure from Tennessee. Volunteers, as you would expect, making a push. Carolina's led by as many as 24. It's down to 15, though. 78-63. High post to Baycott. Now to Ingram, straight away. Carolina does not have a field goal for nearly 3 minutes. Wojcik trying to get it to Baycott, nothing there. Out to R.J. Davis. Davis to Cadeau, shot clock down to 6. Cadeau drives hard, gets to the rim, has his shot blocked. Tennessee has blocked a couple here to erase some good drives for the Tar Heels. James stops at the elbow and can't get the roll on the mid-range. Baycott with the rebound. Carolina will run. Cadeau. Head up to Davis. Transition look for 3. Yes, from the right wing.
Cadeau was eyeballing him the whole time. That was an awesome pass.
Back to an 18-point lead. The 9th assist for Cadeau. Connect. Hesitation. Drive and gets the layup. He just shakes his head. Carolina can't stop him right now. As the ball rolls free before the inbound. And since it was rolling away, Ron Groover will say, let's go ahead and take the 12-minute timeout. 81-65. Carolina is seeing Tennessee shoot 71% in this second half. The Vols are 10 of 14, 4 of 5 from 3, and it's been mostly Connect and Adu and James. In fact, those 3 have all the buckets for Tennessee. Connect has 5, Adu 3, James 2. Those are field goals this half. As Connect up to 29 points. Carolina's had a player score 30-plus against them in back-to-back games. Connect is 1 point away from making it 3 straight. 81-65, though. Carolina by 16. 11:23 to play from Learfield. (81-65) Carolina with 11:23 to go, but Tennessee has outscored the Heels by 6 this half and is shooting 71 6.5%. Gracious. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, the official health insurance partner of Carolina Athletics, believes an inclusive community is a healthy community. Here for the Tar Heels, here for all. We're going to break 10 seconds. Station identification. Heels up 16. Down the lines on the Tar Heels Sports Network. Jones Angel, Pete Chilcutt here with you courtside in the Smith Center. Pete, what can the Heels do to cool off Dalton Connect? He is 10 of 13 from the field. That includes 5 of 5 this half, and that is 5 of those made field goals are three-pointers for him this half.
Yeah, he's a tough matchup. Put some more size on him, maybe make him work a little harder. Also, maybe take some more time on our end. You know, we've been going through a little drought here. They get some stops. That makes it more evident that they're making a run when we can't score. So get some scores on our side, make him work a little harder, put some size on him. Maybe Jalen Withers or maybe Ingram on him might help a little bit.
Yeah, Withers has come in. Be interesting to see if he's the man who guards Connect. It'll be Cadeau, Davis, Withers, Ingram, and Baycott. Full court pressure for Tennessee as they are picking up down 16. Inbounds goes to Cadeau. 11:20 to go as Cadeau sprints front side on the angle dribble from left to right. Flips it to Baycott. Now to Jalen Withers between the circles. Withers, an errant pass, trying to throw it to R.J. Davis and just threw it away. Withers had some turnover troubles during his career at Louisville, and he has 2 turnovers in 8 minutes here today. Carolina only has 7 turnovers total. It's going to be Ingram getting the assignment on Connect, not Withers. Tar Heels got to do something to try and slow him down as Connect jumps right into Baycott and scores again. I mean, Carolina can't stop him. He is 6 of 6 this half, 11 of 14 in the game. He has 31 points with 10:50 still to go. 81-67. Carolina's lead is down to 14. It's a 15-5 Tennessee run. Ingram backing in, and he's going to turn it over. Tried to pitch it to R.J. Davis. It gets into the Tennessee front court, and running it down and laying it in is Gainey. It's down to a 12-point lead. Hubert Davis, as Carolina's crowd getting to its feet, try to help Carolina out. It's a 17-5 Tennessee run. Davis to Baycott, and he's fouled going to the rim. That may be on Adu. And if it is, it's his 4th. It is. So the Tennessee big man picks up his 4th. Tennessee is 12 of 16 this half, 75% from the floor.
Very efficient.
Yeah. And for the game, 61%. So 2 shots coming for Baycott. 10:19 to go in the second half as Baycott hits the free throw. The most points ever scored against Carolina, 48. That was by Dick Grote. That was in 1952 at Duke on February 29, 1952. Connect, long way to go, but he's got 31 and still 10 minutes and 19 seconds to play. Baycott's free throw made it 82-69, and the second one rattles out. Carolina got to get some stops. I mean, they have barely gotten any stops this half. And here's the red-hot Connect. Weaving through traffic. R.J. Davis digs in to tie him up. Jump ball belongs to Tennessee. 10:03 to go. Tar Heels have led by as many as 24. It is down to 13 at 82-69. Tennessee, 12 of 16 this half. 4 of 5 from 3. And Connect is bleeding. Ron Gruber is going to have him go to the bench and get the cut wrapped. Trainer for Tennessee, Chad Newman, in his 28th year. He's just going to put a sleeve on that right elbow, which is where the cut is. Tar Heels have Cadeau, Davis, Withers, Ingram, and Baycott. Trying to get a defensive stop here. Carolina up by 13, but they've led by as many as 24. Inbounds goes to Ziegler. Halfway through the second half. Connect. Double team comes. Passes over to Gainey. Gainey, tough pull-up at the left elbow, and a rare miss and an over-the-back foul by Tennessee's Cade Phillips.
I think that's a great strategy. Make someone else shoot the ball. Him in the second half.
The double team made Connect get the ball out of his hands. 82-69. Cadeau front side for Carolina. Guarded tightly by Gainey. Bounce pass to Baycott, now to Withers. Over to R.J. Davis on the right wing. Gets it to Baycott in the post, one-on-one with Phillips. Double team comes, and it's knocked away from Baycott out of bounds. Ziegler doubled down and knocked it out. 12 on the shot clock, 9:34 on the game clock. Heels up by 13, but a little tense. They've led by as many as 24. Ingram whips a pass to Withers. Oh, my gosh, he missed the open layup. That is twice Carolina's had a wide-open player underneath the basket on an inbound, and they hadn't been able to finish. And guess who? Connect on the other side, just right to the rim, and it's an 11-point lead. Connect is about to bring Tennessee back all by himself. 9:09 to go. Cadeau. Hesitation dribble. It's going to back up to R.J. Davis. Back to Cadeau. Extra pass to Ingram. Wide open for three. No, but there's Withers for the rebound. Out to Davis. He'll try a triple. That's no good. And the ball tipped out by Ingram. 8:53 to go. Tar Heels have now been outscored by 11 this half. 32-21. Connect has 33 points. He has not missed this half. He is 12 of 15.
All right, let's see if we can get this momentum back. Lost some momentum.
Connect. Kicks it in the corner to Ziegler. His three is good, and it is a single-digit deficit. Cadeau bringing it front side. Tennessee is shooting 74% this half. 82-74. Carolina's lead is 8. Cadeau hands off to R.J. Davis. Crossover. Drive, and he lays it in from the right side. Heels finally get a bucket. Back to a 10-point lead.
Gotta get a stop. Gotta get a stop.
Hard drive by James. Ends up in Connect's hands. He'll pitch it over to Ziegler in the corner. James back out to Ziegler. Thought about the long three, doesn't take it. Shot clock down to 10. Pulls up for the two, no good. Baycott with the rebound. He'll give it to Cadeau. 7:53 to go. Heels lead has been trimmed to as low as 8 after leading by 24. It's back to 10 right now. Withers in the right corner. Looking for Baycott. And a really poor pass. And it goes out of bounds. Hubert Davis tells somebody to go in for Withers. It's going to be Ryan, as Withers has made some very poor decisions with his passes here in the second half. So Tennessee still shooting 70% from the floor, and they are within 10. They've cut it as low as 8 after the Heels led by as many as 24. 7:42 to go. 84-74 from Learfield. Carolina led by 22 at halftime, led by as many as 24 this half. But it has been cut to as low as 8. It is currently 10, 84-74. As Tennessee just seemingly can't miss, and more correctly, Dalton Connect can't miss. He literally has not missed in this half. He is 7 of 7 from the field, including 3 of 3 from 3. His only miss was at the free throw line, where he's 1 of 2 this half. He has 33 points. So Dixon had 34 for Villanova. Mark had 34 for Arkansas. And now Connect has 33 with still 7:42 to go here in the Smith Center. Carolina basketball brought to you in part by Fairfield by Marriott, part of the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio of hotels, and is a proud partner of Carolina Athletics. So, Pete, Carolina still up by 10, but trying to get this train back on the tracks.
Yeah, the momentum has been lost. I mean, Tennessee is playing very well. Obviously, Connect, we've had some laps on our offensive end, bad shots, turnovers. we got to find a way to get that focus back, leadership on the court. Who's going to take control of this team right now down the stretch? Make sure we get some good shots. More importantly, get a stop or two. We don't win if we don't get some stops down the stretch.
Carolina's going to come out of the timeout with Davis, Cadeau, Ryan, Ingram, Baycott. Ryan back in with 4 fouls. Baycott has 3. Adu has 4 for Tennessee. 3 for Ziegler and Vescovy as well. But it's Connect that's been the problem. He has the ball in the backcourt. Ingram trying to body him up. Connect flips it to the young Cade Phillips. Baycott and Ingram trying to bottle up Connect. They double team him, force a long pass to James, and he makes the 3. Boy, Tennessee just cannot miss right now. It is down to a 7-point lead, 84-77. Tennessee 15 of 21, 6 of 7 from 3. You can just see in their body language they know they're back in this game. Carolina's got to get something here offensively and get some stops. Davis dribbles from the right corner through traffic to the top to reset. Shot clock down to 8 for Cadeau. 6:57 to go. Cadeau to Davis. Didn't catch it cleanly, but is able to shoot it cleanly right through the net.
Wow.
Big
like
three.
we drew it up. Just like we drew it up.
87-77. Connect. Double team comes again. In some trouble. Finds Phillips. Right back to Connect. Connect going to pull up for an ill-advised 3. It's short and bangs right into the hands of Ingram. Finally, Connect missed a shot in the second half. 6:30 to go. Davis trying to clear the airspace. Ingram was right there with him. He said, hey, get out of here. Let me work. Against Ziegler. Davis to a cutting Baycott. Goes up, and he's fouled by James. That is his second. 7th on Tennessee, but it is a shooting foul, and so Baycott will go to the line. Baycott 1 of 2 this half, and 8 of 9 in the ballgame at the line. 6:18 to go. Carolina's led by as many as 24. Tennessee cut it as low as 7. It is currently 10 at 87-77. And 2 shots for Baycott. Both teams in the bonus the rest of the way. 7 fouls on Tennessee, 6 on Carolina. Free throw good by Baycott.
Can we string together 2 stops in a row?
Yeah, it's been tough. Baycott gets the roll, the rattle on the second one. 89-77. Smith Center crowd comes to its feet. Tar Heels by 12 with 6:10 to go. Vescovy. It ends up to Connect, and he has it tipped away by Ingram. It's going to belong to Carolina. Ziegler started the play, ended up to Connect, but Ingram tipped it away. Tar Heels against some pressure. Ingram still trying to get it in, bounces in heavy traffic to Cadeau, but the freshman able to catch it. Coming up the sideline left, Cadeau is fouled, floats it up, no good. The foul may be on the floor, and that means it's a 1-and-1 for Cadeau, who has struggled at the line this year. The foul's on Gainey, his second. 8th on Tennessee. But it is a 1-and-1 for Cadeau, who is just 10 of 21 this season. So below 500, including 2 misses today. This is a 1-and-1 with 5:59 to go. Gets it to go. His first point of the night, but he has 10 assists.
That was a big free throw.
First Tar Heel freshman with double-digit assists since Marcus Page in 2013. 90-77. 90-77. It bounces out. 5:55 to go as Ziegler comes front side. Tar Heels by 13. Ziegler between the rings. Now on the left wing, weaves through traffic, out to Gainey. His catch-and-shoot 3 won't go. Baycott with the strong rebound. Kicks it out to Cadeau.
3 stops in a row.
Baycott now with 9 rebounds to go with his 22 points. Cadeau diagnosing on the right sideline. Whips it to a cutting Baycott. Spins, goes up. A lot of contact. It's tipped away, but Ingram there to clean it up. Ingram backing in. He's really deep. Gets fouled, and he's going to the free throw line. He banged his head on the ground. Tar Heels hustle over to try and help him up. The foul is on Cade Phillips, his third. Ninth foul on Tennessee, but this will be 2 free throws for Ingram. With 5:21 to go. Adu with 4 fouls coming to the scorer's table. Tar Heels 90, Tennessee 77. Carolina led by as many as 24, trying to withstand a furious comeback from Tennessee, who was shooting better than 70% for most of this half, down to 65% now. Ingram, 2 shots. The first one is good. Ingram now has 19. 23 for Davis, 22 Baycott, 19 Ingram, 15 for Ryan. Connect with 33 to lead Tennessee, 20 for James. Adu has 11. 5:21 to go, 91-77. It's an 8-0 Tar Heel run as Ingram makes them both. 15-point Carolina lead. Ingram trying to stay with Connect, who has been incredible. Double team comes, gets it to Adu. Adu pitches it out to Ziegler. Extra pass goes in the corner to Gainey for 3. And Tennessee is going to take its first timeout of the second half. That will stretch to a full with 5:05 to go. So Carolina doubling up Connect, but Tennessee doing a good job working it around and getting a clean look, which they've made here as of late. It's down to a 12-point Tar Heel lead, 92-80 with 5:05 to go. Full timeout here in the Smith Center. Heels up 12 from Learfield.
All the action, all season long. This is Carolina basketball.
Tar Heels 92, Tennessee 80 with 5:05 to go. Food Lion is the proud sponsor of the Score to Give More program. For each free throw the Tar Heels make today, Food Lion Feeds will donate 100 meals to a local area food bank. And free throws have been big. Carolina 24 of 28 today. That is 86, just under 86%. Tennessee 8 of 9 at the free throw line. The Volunteers were 1 of 12 from three-point range in the first half. They are 7 of 10 this half. And that is a big reason why they have been able to cut Carolina's lead as large as 24 down to as low as 7. Is currently, though, back up to 12, and Carolina will have the basketball. Tar Heels already have a season high in points with 92. Baycott has a career high in free throws made with 10, as he has 22 points. He and Davis and Ingram all at 20+. Davis 23, Baycott 22, Ingram 20, Ryan with 15. For Tennessee, Connect has 33. That is just 4 off the all-time record for a Tar Heel opponent in the Smith Center. Lionel Simmons had 37 against Carolina in 1988 for LaSalle here in the Smith Center. That's the most ever a Tar Heel opponent has scored in this building. Connect has 33, including 18 this half. And he is 12 of 16 from the floor, 4 of 8 from 3, 5 of 6 at the line. James has added 20, 11 for Adu, and now Gainey has 9 as well. Jones Angel, Pete Chilcutt here with you, Carolina inbound. Ingram can run the baseline. He does so and bounces it into Cadeau. 5 minutes to play right now as Cadeau comes front court. Gets a big screen from Baycott. Bounce pass, extra pass, left corner 3 from Ryan. Looks short, is short, and the rebound chased down by Adu. Carolina got a good look, but Ryan couldn't knock it in. Still a 12-point Tar Heel lead. Adu straight away, now hands off to Gainey. Gainey finds Connect. Ryan chases him down. Dumps it off to a cutting Adu. Extra pass out to Ziegler. His line drive 3 is short. Long rebound tipped by Ryan into the hands of Ingram, who will hug it on his chest and wait for Cadeau to come get it. Cadeau's got to get into the front court and does so. Boy, just a second before the 10-second violation. 4:15 to go. Ingram left wing. He's going to try and back in against James. Long cross-court pass to Davis. Catch and shoot triple. No good. Rebound to Ziegler. 4:05 to play. He'll pitch it ahead. A long pass ahead to James to a trailing Ziegler. Ziegler into the paint, and he's fouled before he lobs the alley-oop. And that's going to be Ryan, and that's his 5th. So Cormac Ryan fouls out for the first time this year and the second time in his college career. He will leave with 15 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist. The foul is the 7th on Carolina, so it will result in a 1-and-1 for Tennessee when we get back. 3:58 to go. Tar Heels 92, Tennessee 80. 1-and-1 for Ziegler when we return from Learfield. .358 to play. Carolina 92, Tennessee 80. Free throws, though, coming for Zakai Ziegler of Tennessee when action resumes. Jones Angel, Pete Chilcutt here with you. Our broadcast presented in part by Allen Tate Realtors. Whether you're buying, selling, relocating, or seeking financing or insurance, Allen Tate can help. Allen Tate Realtors, the #1 realtor in the Carolinas with more than 70 local offices and a proud partner of Carolina Athletics. Timeouts. Tennessee has 2. Carolina has 3. Possession arrow belongs to the Tar Heels. The fouls, Carolina has been whistled for 7. So Tennessee in the bonus. Tennessee has been called for 9. So Tar Heels in the double bonus moving forward. Pete, 3:58 to go. Carolina up 12.
You know, we didn't do pretty much what we talked about at halftime, coming out focused, intense, keeping that intensity up. But at the same time, Tennessee is a really quality team that's going to make a run no matter what. So this is going to be invaluable down the stretch. Even now, as we go down the last 4 minutes, how are we going to take care of the ball? What kind of shots are we going to get? How are we going to play those 2 guys that are really efficient against us? Are we going to be able to lock down the defender in crunch time? This is a very good learning experience as we get into this season.
Trimble is going to come in for Ryan, who fouls out. So the Tar Heels will have Cadeau, Davis, Trimble, Ingram, and Baycott. So 1-and-1 for Ziegler. He is 7 of 8 on the season at the free throw line. These will be his first attempts of the evening. And he comes up short. Rebound to Baycott. Cadeau will bring it front side. 3:49 and counting. Now Ingram on the left wing. Carolina up 12. Ingram dribbles, backs into the left corner. Out to Davis, back to Ingram. Faces up. Shot clock down to 8. Ingram, 1-on-1. Spins baseline. An awkward turn, no good. The rebound is tipped around, ends up in Cadeau's hands for 3, too strong. Rebound is still being batted around, ends up to Tennessee. Here come the Volunteers the other way. 3:17 to go. That was almost a shot clock violation. Ingram's shot came up short. That's why Cadeau had to force up a long jumper. Connect trying to go against Trimble and gets to the rim and lays it in. New career high for Connect. He has 35 points. Trimble got to get it in, underhands to Cadeau. It's down to a 10-point Tar Heel lead, 92-82. So Connect just 3 or 2 points off the most points ever scored by an opponent in the Smith Center. He has 35, a career high. And the 3rd straight game that a Tar Heel opponent has 34 or more. Ingram backing in left side. Pitches out to Davis. Guarded 3-pointer. No good. Rebound is knocked out by Tennessee into the Tar Heel bench.
Yeah, I'm not liking that possession so far. We need to probably get the ball, small ball movement down low, post up, go to Baycott.
Yeah, they're
tough shot.
Working this Ingram on the side, which worked against Arkansas down the stretch. But he has not got a tough look, and then Davis a rushed look out of it these last 2 possessions. Carolina's just 3 of its last 18 from the floor. They've missed their last 6 field goals. Up by 10, 92-82. Long pitch ahead from Cadeau in the left corner to Davis. His teardrop won't go, but a rebounding foul is called on Tennessee. It is on Connect. That is his first foul, but is the 10th on the Volunteers. And somebody's going to the line. I think Baycott for Carolina.
That was a straight-up push on probably not Connect, but the other
2 shots for Baycott. Yeah, 2 shots for Baycott here, Pete. With the Tar Heels up 92-82 with 2:18 to go. First one for Armando is up. Rattles out. He is 10 of 12 at the line. Carolina 24 of 29. Carolina led by 22 at halftime, as many as 24. Tennessee's cut it as low as 7. It's currently a 10-point advantage, 92-82. And he missed them both. Carolina has not scored in more than 3 minutes. And a cheap foul on Ingram reaching in, and that's going to put Connect at the line for a 1-and-1.
Yeah, not a smart play right there. You got to make him earn that. That's going to be probably 2 pretty easy points at the line.
Yeah, he's an 81.5% shooter and is 5 of 6 tonight. This is a 1-and-1. But if he makes them both, it cuts it down to an 8-point lead. Tar Heels no points in 3 minutes and 9 seconds. They've missed their last 7 shots, 2 of their last 12. Connect. If he makes both of these and he gets the roll on the first, he will tie the all-time record by an opponent. Points scored in the Smith Center. He has 36. Lionel Simmons with 37 for LaSalle in 1988. And he gets them both. So he has now tied that record. Meshack coming in. And it's down to an 8-point lead with 2:12 to go. Carolina needing some points and a stop. It's a 7-0 Tennessee run. Inbounds goes to Cadeau, knocked away, but it still belongs to the Tar Heels. Carolina has 3 timeouts.
Spot throw in, can't run now.
Trimble will be the inbounder. Gets it into Davis. Right back to Trimble. Extra pass to Cadeau. Tar Heels will get it front side and now ease it up. 2 minutes to play right now, and now actually 2:01 to play, and Hubert Davis takes the timeout. 92-84. Tennessee has outscored Carolina 45-31 this half on the strength of 17 of 26 shooting. That's 65%. 7 of 11 from 3. And 4 of 6 at the free throw line as well. Tennessee was down by 22 at the break. Carolina's led by as many as 24. But it is currently down to 8 at 92-84 with 2:01 to go. 18 on the shot clock for the Tar Heels. Carolina has not scored in more than 3 minutes. 3 minutes and 20 seconds. 2 timeouts remaining for each team. Both teams, Carolina's in the double bonus. Tennessee has seen Carolina whistle for 8 fouls, so just the bonus for them. So if it's a non-shooting foul, if Carolina gets called for another one, it'll be a 1-and-1. Possession arrow belongs to Carolina. Pete, Tar Heels, it feels like they haven't gotten great shots here down the stretch.
Yeah, it's been a little struggle with the rhythm, the flow of the game for us. Tennessee is great defensively. They're going to make you work. They're going to change some things up. I think our post-ups have been taken away from us at this point. That they're kind of doubling down a little bit. How we handle this is, again, this is going to be a great experience, win or lose. Hopefully we're going to be able to hold on here, but I think we're learning here is down the stretch. You got to make the right plays at the right time. I think some of these shots were taken a little forced. Our stops on defensive end have not been good. A little concerning that we're not able to make some key stops down the stretch. We still got 2 minutes left, so I'm just looking forward to seeing what we're going to do here out of the timeout.
Tar Heels come out of that timeout with the same 5 that were on the floor. Cadeau, Davis, Trimble, Ingram, Baycott. Baycott playing with 3 fouls, Trimble with 2. Adu out there for Tennessee with 4 fouls. As the inbounds goes in the backcourt to R.J. Davis. He'll bring it front side on the right with 1:55 to go. Shot clock's down to 10. Guarded by Ziegler. Big screen from Baycott. Davis pulls up for the 2-pointer, no good. Rebound to Tennessee. Thought Ingram had a hand on it, but it ends up with the Volunteers. Connect. Going to drive right of the lane, and a foul is called on Cadeau. Not Trimble, who was fronting Connect, but on Cadeau. And that's his 3rd, and that means 1-and-1 for Connect.
Excuse me.
A very difficult call. Boy, it was Connect just turned his ankle is actually what happened. But Cadeau got called for the trip, and Clarence Armstrong made the call. And now he's going to go, I think he's going to go change the foul call to Trimble because Cadeau was not even. So after Armstrong saw the replay, he changed the foul to Trimble because he was the only one in the area. Now Connect is still down because he turned his ankle on the drive. That's why he fell down. 1:39 to go. I mean, if these two free throws go in, it is a 6-point game. Carolina is led by as many as 24. But they have been outscored 45-31 this half. So Adu is going to shoot the free throws because I don't think Connect can. He is still down, getting the left ankle and foot looked at. And it will be, should be a 1-and-1 unless they call that in the act of shooting, which I don't think they did. But I don't know. And Connect, with his 37 points, will very, very slowly go to the bench. He's having to have help to get there. What a performance by Connect, tying the all-time record for points by an opponent in the Smith Center. He has 37. 92-84. This, of course, part of that ACC-SEC challenge. Some finals, Wake Forest and Virginia won earlier today. Virginia 59-47 over A&M. Wake 82-71 over Florida. So that gives the ACC a 5-4 lead in the challenge. With Carolina leading here. Duke up early on Arkansas, 8-7. Boston College, 19-7 on Vanderbilt. Florida State, 11-5 on Georgia. Auburn, 12-3 over Virginia Tech. They are saying this is a two-shot foul. So they're saying that Connect was in the act of shooting. So Adu, 1 of 1 today, 7 of 10 on the year, will have two shots to try to cut it to a 6-point deficit where Carolina's led by as many as 24. And the first one's good. It is 92-85. Tar Heels haven't scored in 3 minutes and 42 seconds. It's an 8-0 Tennessee run to get back within 7. Second one good as well. It is a 6-point game, a 2-possession game. 92-86. Unfathomable.
Yeah.
Early in this half. Minute 39 to go. Inbound to Cadeau. He'll bounce it to Ingram. Right back to Cadeau. Carolina's got to get it front court. Cadeau does so. And he's fouled by Gainey. And that's a smart foul for Tennessee because Cadeau is 1 of 4 today and 11 of 23 on the season. So it will be 2 shots, but he has really struggled at the stripe. 1:31 to go. Tar Heels need every point they can get. Up 6, but reeling. Have not scored in 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Gets the roll. Front iron. Rolled on the right side of the rim. The backboard and in. That stops a nearly 4-minute scoring drought for Carolina. Still don't have a field goal in 5.5. Second one by the freshman. Gets the roll again. Front iron, back iron, and through. 94-86. Can the Heels get a stop? Up 8. Ziegler drives all the way through, circles back out. Bounces to James, back to Ziegler. Minute 20 to play. Now it's Gainey. Gainey on the left wing. Going to elevate for a guarded 3. No good. Rebound. Battled for. Out of bounds off Cadeau's foot. He and Meshack were both going after it. 1:11 to play.
He's got to make sure he tests those threes. They're gonna maybe take a quick 2 here.
They've done a ton of corner threes off these inbounds. As Vescovy is going to check in. He has sat most of the second half. Ziegler to Gainey. There's that corner 3 off the inbounds, but it comes up way short. Vescovy able to get the rebound out to an open Ziegler. That one short, and finally Davis collects the board for Carolina. 1 minute to go. Heels up 94-86. And a foul in the backcourt on Vescovi. That's his fourth. And that's going to put R.J. Davis at the line for two. 56.5 seconds to go.
That was a big stop right there.
It took a couple tries, but they got there eventually. Davis for 2 shots. He's 2 of 2 tonight. He is one of 4 Tar Heels in double figures, one of 3 Tar Heels with 20 or more. In fact, he's the leading scorer with 23. 2 shots for R.J. Davis, 56.5 seconds to go. First one is true. 95-86. Cradling the ball, spinning the ball, shooting the ball. Got them both. 10-point lead. 55 seconds to go. Ziegler takes a tough 3 and swishes it over a double challenge of Trimble and Davis.
They refused to give up and go away. They are ultra competitive. That was a tough shot.
96-89. Tennessee is 8 of 15 this half from 3 after going 1 of 12 in the first half. They came in as a team shooting 38% from behind the arc. So the timeout by Tennessee leaves them with 1 left. Carolina has 2. Carolina by 7. They led by as many as 24 this half. Tennessee cut it as low as 6. Carolina got it back to 10, but now it's 7 with the Tar Heels inbounding, surely against pressure from the Volunteers. Carolina has no field goals in the last 6:07.
Wow.
They've made 3 of their last 20 overall. The last 9 points they've scored have all been from the line. So if you're Carolina, Davis, of course, the number 1 guy you want at the stripe. We'll see who the inbounder is. It's going to be Ingram. So Trimble is 9 of 14 on the season. Cadeau's right around 50%. 3 of 6 today. Davis, of course, is above 90% on the season and the best free throw shooter in Carolina history, percentage-wise. Baycott has shot well but has just missed a pair a few minutes ago. He's 10 of 13, though, in total. Ingram will be the inbounder. Carolina would love to have Cormac Ryan, another great free throw shooter, but he is fouled out. Tennessee doing all it can to deny Davis, but Carolina gets the ball to him. He's now doubled up. He may have to take a timeout. And he does, as he was in trouble in the backcourt. 44.4 seconds to go. Tar Heels will have 1 timeout remaining, as this game just refuses to end. It has been nearly a 2-hour and 20-minute game. And we still have 44.4 seconds to go with the Tar Heels leading 96-89. Each team still has a timeout. Both teams are in the double bonus. Possession arrow belongs to Carolina. If you're looking for somebody off the bench, if Carolina wants to sub, Paxton Wojcik is 8 of 8 at the free throw line this year.
Yeah, that's a hard sub to come in. I think you got to go with these guys on the court. I think we have a play to get it to RJ. If not RJ, I have confidence in any of these guys out there.
Yeah, of course.
Down. So
just going by the percentages.
Yep. This is a great test, though. I like how this is going to be some pressure down the stretch, going to help form better habits later in the season.
So now Carolina cannot run the baseline after taking the timeout. They will make no subs, so it's Cadeau, Davis, Trimble, Ingram, and Baycott. And Ingram will be the inbounder for the Tar Heels. Trimble at the timeline. Cadeau, Davis, and Baycott all in the backcourt. 96-89 Carolina with 44.4 to go. Ingram to inbound. And the inbound's tipped away by Ziegler.
And a spot throw in.
43.9 to go. Adu with all his length on the inbounder Ingram. Now James will check in for Meshack 43.9 to play. Baycock going to try and set a screen in the backcourt for Davis. He does so. Ingram gets it into Baycott. Long pitch ahead to Davis, and he will hit the brakes in the front court. He's going to try and force Tennessee to foul him, one would think. Davis able to pitch it in the corner to Cadeau. 10 seconds on the shot clock, and Cadeau is fouled by Adu with 30.3 to go. So Adu has fouled out. Second time this year, third time in his career. He fouls out with 13 points, 9 of them coming this half. And it'll be Cadeau, again, who has struggled this season at the line, there for 2 shots. 30.3 seconds to go. Tar Heels 96, Tennessee 89. 2 shots for Cadeau. The first one is nothing but net. 97-89.
So he's getting some confidence up there.
Carolina by 8. Carolina by 9. Cadeau makes them both. 98-89. 30 seconds to go. Gainey will go to the rim and lay it in. And Tennessee takes his last time out. 25.6 seconds to go. It is a 7-point Tar Heel lead. Remember, the Tar Heels still have another timeout. So this is getting bled dry to the last moment, with Carolina leading by as many as 24. But they have seen Tennessee outscore them 52-37 this half. The ball shooting 61%. 8 of 15 from 3. 6 of 8 at the line. Dalton Connect turned his ankle. He left with 37 points in about 2 minutes to go. He ends up with, assuming he doesn't return, with 37 points on 13 of 17 shooting, 4 of 8 from 3, 7 of 8 from the line. It ties the most points by an individual in the Smith Center, by an individual opponent in the Smith Center in history, tying Lionel Simmons, who had 37 in 1988, and is just 11 off the most points ever scored by a Tar Heel opponent. It is the 3rd consecutive game that an individual has scored 30 or more, after Dixon for Villanova and Mark for Arkansas each had 34. Connect has bested them with a career-high 37. He hasn't been the only one. Josiah Jordan-James has 20 on 8 of 11 shooting. 13 for Adu, who fouled out. Gainey has 11. For Carolina, 25 for R.J. Davis. 22 for Baycott. 20 for Ingram. 15 for Cormac Ryan, who was fouled out. Tar Heels are going to put all 4 players other than the inbounder Ingram on the baseline like they're running a football play. They'll take off. Ingram to inbound and gets it into Cadeau. Cadeau is, no foul in the backcourt. The ball's loose. Tar Heels dive to the floor, and the possession arrow belongs to Carolina.
That was Tennessee was looking for that.
21.9 seconds to go. As the arrow belongs to Carolina, that will turn it over, that will turn the arrow over to Tennessee. Boy, Cadeau got absolutely banged around. But no whistle. Not sure what the officials are talking about. Now everybody's ready to go. 21.9 to play. Ingram again will be the man to throw it in. He can't move. Gets it into R.J. Davis. Davis weaving through traffic, and he gets fouled from behind by Meshack. All right, 17.5 to go. Let's shoot some more free throws. Davis to the line with Carolina leading 98-91. If he makes them both, that Bojangles 100-point special is on.
It is on. Oh.
But he got to make them both. 98-91. First one for Davis is in the air and good. 99-91. The Heels hit 100. Bojangles will offer 2 sausage biscuits for $1 at all partnering locations. And R.J. Davis does it. 100-91. 15 seconds to go. And a foul is called on the other end as Ziegler drove against Cadeau. That is the third on Cadeau, and Ziegler will have 2 shots with 13.8 to play.
That's probably not a foul any other time in the game. He was backpedaling, getting out of his way.
Carolina, the free throw line has been huge. Tar Heels 32 of 38 for the game. 16 of 22 this half and 13 of 16 down the stretch. Ziegler makes the free throw. 100-92 with 13.8 to go. I think mercifully Rick Barnes has said no more fouls. Second one rolls off. Baycott had the rebound taken away. It's still loose. 9 seconds to go. Out to Gainey. Missed the 3. Long rebound to R.J. Davis, and that finally will do it. The Tar Heels put on a clinic in the first half and then withstand what has to be the best that Tennessee has in the second half to hold on and defeat the Volunteers 100-92. The Tar Heels do not have a field goal for nearly the final 7 minutes of the game.
That's crazy.
But they get the job done at the free throw line to keep Tennessee at arm's length and hold on for the 8-point win. Woo. Carolina improves to 6-1 on the season. Tennessee has now lost 3 in a row, but it has not been an easy stretch for them. Purdue, Kansas, at Carolina. They have been competitive in all 3, but have lost all 3, and will head back home to face George Mason to try to improve. Carolina is right back here at home on Saturday, starting ACC play against Florida State. It wasn't easy, and it wasn't quick, but the Tar Heels win at 100-92 from Learfield.
Attention Tar Heel fans, if you've had any alcohol as a part of your game day activities, make sure you don't get behind the wheel. There are more ways than ever to get home safely. You can call a friend to cab, take a bus, or app your ride. Tennessee heading back to Knoxville. 8-point losers today in the Smith Center as Carolina prevails 100-92. This is the Coca-Cola postgame report. We'll hear from Jones and Coach Davis in a bit, but right now we'll bring Pete Chilcutt back into the broadcast. And Pete, I'm guessing for as much basketball as you've played across every level, you've been involved in some where the best players are going to play their best, and you see results like we had tonight where the Tar Heels place 4 in double figures. Dalton Knecht goes for 37. Josiah Jordan-James with 20. Pretty clear cut that the studs for both teams had their best players scoring a bunch tonight.
They really did. It's I wouldn't say it's inevitable, but, when you have that big first half like Carolina did, and then to try to maintain that intensity and come out and stay as focused, it's really hard, and especially against a team that's going to scratch and claw to get back in the game. With some quality players, like you mentioned, I wouldn't say we would expect it, but at the same time, that was not unexpected to see Tennessee keep fighting, and we just had a huge stretch there at the end, especially without a basket and some turnovers and lackadaisical play down the stretch. But those players for both teams that you mentioned that showed up can be expected to show up most nights for both of us, but we got to figure out how to put a rein on some of those buckets by those guys that are scoring so many points against us.
Armando Baycott, let's highlight his performance, Pete. 22 points, 11 rebounds, and of the 22 that he got, 10 of them came at the free throw line. He only took 8 shots, so that's about as efficient a 22-point performance as you're going to find.
Yeah, very efficient. I would have liked to have seen him get the ball a little bit more in the second half down on the post. I know for the most part in the first half we got what we wanted, but those threes were falling. When they stopped falling a little bit in the second half, I think we got to reestablish we're going inside first, and either him or Jalen Washington down low. A little bit of a way to eat up some of that clock and get some higher percentage shots.
Carolina beats Tennessee 100-92 as the Heels return home after that 3-game stint in the battle for Atlantis. R.J. Davis, 27 points to go with 4 rebounds and 2 assists. He played all but 2 minutes in today's game, and he follows up that 30-point performance that he had against Arkansas with 27 more here tonight. Harrison Ingram, 20 points and 6 rebounds. He also played 38 minutes, and Cormac Ryan, while he fouled out, still hit for 15 points as he's back into double figures for the Tar Heels. So, Pete, the epidemic of fouling that we had in the last few games, and again, it's both teams. It could be Carolina some nights. It could be the opponent other nights. It could be a game that Carolina's not even involved in. A bunch of whistles again tonight. Tennessee called for 24 fouls. That led to the Tar Heels shooting 32 of 38 at the free throw line, 84%, and you'll take a number like that on any night, won't you?
Well, that's not always a given. We've seen historically some of our teams not shoot as well from the line. We definitely want to get to the line. We want to keep the opponent off the line. As Jones was referring to jokingly, our free throw defense isn't very good. When we can hit that high percentage, that's going to be extremely critical down the stretch. I was really impressed with the freshman Elliot Cadeau coming in and hitting those key free throws down the stretch, because as he's struggled early on, I sense that he's a way better free throw shooter than we think right now, and he just needs a little more confidence on the floor to kind of get that part of his game more solid.
With the Tar Heels making those 32 free throws, another 3,200 meals were donated to a local area food bank through Food Line Feeds. Score to give more program. And, Pete, you know this. There's a difference between making free throws and then making free throws when you have to down the stretch, and that's what Cadeau did. He did.
And, again, when I watch him on the court, I don't see any signs that he's nervous or out of his element. The really great players and the players who are going to be great want the ball down the stretch. At the end, we knew that they were going to foul, and he went to get that ball hard and knock down those free throws when he needed to. So, like you said, it's key times that determine who's going to be the guy you want to be on the line down the stretch. And I think I was pretty confident with everyone we had on the floor at the end of the game that they could knock down those free throws.
Cadeau, 5 points. They all came from the free throw line, 10 assists and 2 rebounds. No turnovers for the freshman in 31 minutes. And let's be fair here to Tennessee. The backcourt combination of Vescovi, Ziegler, Gainey, that's a pretty good trio for a freshman like Cadeau to put up the numbers that he had here tonight.
Yeah, I get the notion when he has the ball, I still don't think he's being ultra aggressive offensively for himself, but I feel like he can get really anywhere he wants. And when you notice when he gets in that paint area, he's always looking to pass. And when he can do that and find the open shooters, and then when he starts developing that he can finish as well, he's going to be the full package. And he's not too far away from that. I think he's just still trying to feel his way out this early part of the season. He gets where he wants, and he makes some great decisions. And those assists, I mean, you don't get 10 assists as a freshman at Carolina very often. So that's a pretty good sign right there.
This is Carolina basketball. Our post-game coverage continues with the Carolina Ford Dealers Wrap-Up Show. Ford F-150, what legends are made of. See your Carolina Ford dealer today. This is the Carolina Ford Dealers Wrap-Up Show.
Carolina beats Tennessee 100-92 is the final. And kind of an odd night. Despite the fact Tennessee was down 61-39 in the first half, the Vols shot the ball really well throughout tonight's game, en route to losing by 8. Tennessee 55.5% shooting for the game. The Tar Heels, by contrast, about 46%. So, fans, if you find yourself in need of legal defense for a traffic violation, iTicket.law can be hired to defend you 24 hours a day. Born in Chapel Hill with traffic attorneys statewide, visit iTicket.law to learn more. Still waiting on Jones to catch up with Coach Davis inside the Continental Tire Coaches Corner. Dave, Nathan, Pete Chilcutt here on the Coca-Cola post-game report. Pete, there'll be about 21,000 people here that will always remember the name Dalton Knecht for scoring 37 points and tying an opponent's record for single-game scoring inside the Smith Centers. Is there a player you remember from your playing days that came in here and just lit it up and you'll never forget what he did?
Well, funny you should mention that because I played with the Sacramento Kings with the Lionel Simmons, the L Train, and he never let me forget how he came in, lit it up. I was on the team he lit up against, and he made it look pretty easy, just like Dalton Knecht did tonight. Those great scorers, when they were scoring like Dalton tonight, just looked like it was effortless. Like his shots were smooth, his drives to the basket were money. So I've been on the other end of that. At the same time, I kept on feeling like there's something else we could be doing, but like when those guys getting on a roll like that, it's really tough.
Yeah, Pete Chilcutt in the building for, I guess, 2 historic moments here inside the Smith Center. Jody Zoigner reports that Connect in the second half had 22 points on 8 of 9 shooting, 3 of 4 from three-point land, 3 of 4 from the stripe, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and a block. And there was an 8.5-minute stretch where he scored 18 out of Tennessee's 27 points. And had he not turned the ankle, would have absolutely had a chance to break that scoring record. But as it stands, he exits with that ankle injury, and we certainly hope that he gets a speedy recovery. But I don't think there's a whole bunch of Tar Heel fans that were wanting to see any more Dalton Connect tonight.
You know, when I watched some of the games he played in Maui, I did a little research on his history, and you know, he's a proven scorer. You know, a lot of people don't see these other schools play out of the conference or smaller schools, and they probably never heard of the guy before tonight. But he has scored on every level he's been at. He's going to be a pro. You can just tell his the way he attacks the game, way he scores effortlessly. He's going to be on the next level at some point. Just an impressive player to watch. At the same time, as a Carolina fan, you want to say enough of these guys coming in and scoring plus 30 against us. We got to find a way to nullify some of that, make other guys score.
Let's talk about Carolina scoring here for a sec, Pete, because Tennessee hadn't allowed an opponent to score better than 71 all season long, and the Tar Heels had that by the under 16-minute mark in the second half. It is no small feat to put up a number like this against any Rick Barnes coach team, is it?
No, it's really not. You know, Rick Barnes teams are always strong defensively. I think you saw some of the potential for this team that we can really shoot the ball. And the thing that was impressive, as we noted, Harris and Ingram likes those step-in threes, and pretty much every one of them he hit were step-in threes with no dribbles and just stepping in and knocking down a shot. When we have guys looking for each other, making those easy passes, making the extra pass, it makes it a little bit easier to knock down those threes. Now, when they're not falling like they were in the second half, we got to be able to adapt a little bit. And again, we did enough to win, but I think there's some valuable lessons we learned in that second half.
Carolina wins over Tennessee 100-92 is the final. Jalen Washington comes off the bench, and again, this was a bench that doubled up Tennessee 26-13 in scoring. His shooting percentage, Pete's not going to go up a bunch, but he was 3 of 3 again tonight. He connected on his only three-pointer, tallied 3 rebounds in 8 minutes, and the old saying, when you come off the bench, do no harm. Not only is Washington doing no harm, but he's adding some good to what the Tar Heels have.
Yeah, he's been impressive so far this season. I'd still like to see him get a little bit more minutes. I think he needs to kind of establish maybe a little bit better conditioning down if he's going to play some more minutes. But he hasn't missed from the three-point land. He's very efficient with his two-pointers. He's rebounding. He's a long guy that can rebound and play defense. I think there's got to be a place for him to get more minutes, especially if he continues to be active like he is. He's got so much potential. I think we barely are still seeing what he can become.
So Carolina wins by 100-92. We'll press pause again here on the Coca-Cola Postgame Report and hope to have Coach Davis with Jones when we come back inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner. Again, our final score, Carolina 100, Tennessee 92 from Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to stay right here because it sounds like we're inching closer to hearing from Coach Davis and Jones inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner. So we'll stay here and toss things into the Carolina locker room for the Continental Tire Coach's Corner.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. Coach Davis just making his way in here as Carolina gets the win 100-92 over Tennessee. And Coach, wow, what a game! Let's start with the first, let's say the first 25, 27 minutes or so of this game. Your team was playing at an extraordinarily high level. What did you like from what you saw?
Well, offensively, I liked our pace. I mean, we just pushed the ball in transition. We were really fast offensively, and we were getting layups and dunks, deep post catches. From an offensive standpoint, we're doing a good job driving the ball and creating those rotations and allowing us to get wide open threes. And so we're getting to the free throw line. So from an offensive standpoint, we were on point. I thought defensively we were locked in as well. I thought they scored in the first half off of our mistakes as opposed to when we had a man-on-man. And the first half of basketball, some of the best basketball I've seen in the 12 years that I've been here as a coach, as an assistant, as a head coach. It was pretty special.
Tennessee's a really good team. You knew they were going to make a push. So then when they made their comeback, what would you have liked to have seen better from your guys?
Well, Dalton Connect is a lottery pick. He just is. His size, athleticism, ability to score, and we just didn't have anybody that could stop him. And so we started double teaming him to get the ball out of his hands, but other guys started to step up because I think in the first half they were only 1 of 12 from three-point range, and so other guys started to step up. I felt like we did some of the things in the second half that we were doing at times in the Bahamas. We were fouling and not being disciplined on the defensive end, so they were able to score, getting to the free throw line. And then on the offensive end, we just didn't execute. We weren't taking care of the basketball. We weren't taking the shots that we were generating in the first half. And I just I'm so proud and so happy, but I'm also very encouraged because there is a training tape out there to grow from and to get better at, so that it wasn't so close towards the end in the second half.
Coach, you had 3 guys that scored 20 or more points, but I want to ask you about a player who only scored 5 points, and that was Elliot Cadeau. He had 10 assists and no turnovers. It felt like he really controlled some of that pace and some of that action in the first half.
Yeah, he was great. One of the things that he does really well is, he pitches the ball ahead. And that's the fastest way to advance the basketball and get into early offense, is pitching the ball to an open player. We have wings that are running in transition. He just does a terrific job instinctively just passing to that open guy. And that allows us to really generate things, great shots in transition. And so for him, I can't remember a time, maybe Marcus Page had 10 assists and 0 turnovers against the number 1 rated defensive team in the country in Tennessee. That's big time.
Coach, Armando didn't have the at least stats that he wanted to have in the games in the Bahamas. He had not had double figures the last 2 games. He comes back with 22 points and 11 rebounds tonight. What did he do better in your mind this evening?
Well, one of the things that we talked about is, there are going to be times throughout the year where, your shot doesn't go in. And so, can you make an impact in other areas? And then also, offensively, what is your response? For us to be a really good basketball team, we need Armando to be dominant down low on the post. And he did a really good job of getting low post position. When he caught it in there, he scored or got fouled. He got us into the penalty. And the reason why we got great looks from the perimeter is because of his effort down low in the paint. And so he stepped up big against a really good Tennessee team with a big front line, and I was really happy for him.
Just a great atmosphere tonight. Smith Center was rocking. It was packed. It just felt like just a great night of Carolina basketball.
Yeah, it was real tonight. And I before we went out to the court, I was really excited for our new guys like Harrison and Cormac and Pax and Jay Witt and Zayden. They've never seen the Smith Center like it was tonight. And so to put on that uniform and to run out of that tunnel and to play on that floor in front of 22,000 against one of the better teams in the country, doesn't get any better than that, and I'm very happy that we got the win.
Carolina puts up 100 in the victory against Tennessee, one of the top defensive efficiency team in the country coming into this game. Carolina wins at 192. Coach, thank you for your time, and look forward to talking with you this weekend.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's Hubert Davis, guys, in the Continental Tire Coach's Corner.
Carolina registers the win over Tennessee tonight, 100-92. Tar Heels improved to 6-1 on the year and are a perfect 4-0 here at home. Tennessee drops to 4-3, and this is now 3 straight losses for the Vols after dropping consecutive games to Purdue and Kansas in Maui, and now here to Carolina. Let's go into the Tar Heels locker room and catch up with one of those double-figure scorers. Adam Lucas is with R.J. Davis.
Alongside R.J. Davis, after Carolina gets biscuits against Tennessee, 100-92, R.J. has 27 points. R.J., just in general, your thoughts on a big win over a top 10 opponent?
I mean, it's always a great win. Credits to Tennessee. They're a great team, and they play hard, from the first half to the second half. But overall, just, beating a top-ranked team, it's always a great feeling, especially doing it at home. You got the crowd on your side, everyone going, your adrenaline's rushing through. So, it was a great win. I'm super proud of the guys, the way we, fought from, start to finish. We learned a lot of things that we could learn, that we could moving forward for the next few games, because, it's going to be a battle. But, just to come out and dig deep when, players were, we had a lot of guys that stepped up, from, Seth to Elliott to Cormac to Paxton. Everyone was dialed in and knew the scouting report and knew what type of team and what type of game it was going to be going today.
Coach Davis was very clear about what type of game it was going to be starting on Monday in practice, about the fight that would be required to beat a team like that. What kind of fight were you prepared to have tonight, and what did it take to beat a team that wants to play very physically?
That was going to be a brawl. I just knew, they play with a lot of physicality, and, our main message was to go in there and throw the first punch. Especially doing at home. We don't like to lose at home. That's one of our goals. And we just came out with the, sense of emergency, with the, being locked in. I think this whole week we were, prepared. And, Coach Davis got on us with practice right after we got back from break. But, that's what's needed sometimes to get us going, just to prepare for what's coming. And this team is special. It's so dynamic, and the way we fight from, the starters all the way to the bench, this is going to be one hell of a season.
It was one hell of a first half, as Carolina puts up 61 points against a team that's allowed a maximum of 41.5 this year. What made that first half work so effectively in every possible way offensively?
I mean, our mentality was going from good to great. And what I mean by that is good to great shots. So there's a couple of times where we had open looks, but we passed it up to a guy who's even more open. And that's what we were doing all in the first half. We had a lot of transition buckets. We was able to push the ball and, go run the game with our pace. We was able to, pitch the ball ahead, and that was key for us, man. I mean, just from EC to myself, just finding opening guys to pitch the ball ahead and to get the ball down low. And dominate points in the paint. I think that's what all worked well in the first half, and plus we shot it really well.
They cut it to 8 in the second half. You made a layup. They cut it to 7. You made a 3. The thought for the day yesterday was, what is your response going to be? Yep. How were you able to respond in the key situations tonight? Just
to step up. I know this team relies on me, and I have a lot of confidence and trust myself. And in times like that where it's down to the wire, I'm going to step up and make big time plays, and that's what I did. There's a couple of times I told the guys in the huddle that we got to stop trading baskets, though, because we would score a basket and then they would come back down and score as well. So we clean that up. But just my mentality, just overall this year, just focus on this year, focus on this team, and just be that player that I know I am.
There might even be Tar Heel fans out there who aren't 100% sure if they should believe in this team yet. Why should they?
I mean, I think it's pretty evident in our work and how we battle and how unselfish we are. We're never cheering for our own made basket. It's usually the other way. We're cheering for the assist that we made, or the other person, and that's what this team is so special for. And for the doubters that don't believe in us, just wait, because we got a lot coming.
Including Saturday, ACC opener already against Florida State. RJ Davis, 27 points tonight as Carolina beats Tennessee. RJ, thank you.
Wild ball game tonight in the Smith Center, as both teams put on an offensive display at different times, and Carolina ends up outscoring Tennessee 100-92. 3 Tar Heels with 20 or more points. RJ Davis had 27, so he has 57 points in his last 2 games. Armando Bacot, 22 points and 11 rebounds, his third double-double this year, 71st of his career. And 20 points as well for Harrison Ingram. Back-to-back games that 2 out of the last 3 that Ingram has scored 20 points. He also had 20 in the game against Villanova in the Bahamas. Meanwhile, you've got Cormac Ryan, didn't know if he was going to play, and not only did he play, he played well, 15 points, including 7 of 7 at the line, but fouled out, and that was impactful for Carolina when he fouled out. And then you have Cadeau going for 5 points, but 10 assists and no turnovers. That means over the last 4 games, Cadeau is at 21 assists and 1 turnover. And his ability to push the pace and push the ball really helped Carolina to that spectacular first half when the Tar Heels put up 61 points, shot 58%, and led by 22 at the half. The Tar Heels led by as many as 24. The last time they led by 24 was 76-52 with 15:20 to go. Then they see Tennessee over the next 14 minutes outscore them 34-16 to get it down to 92-86, and eventually the Tar Heels hold on 100-92. Carolina did not have a field goal in the last 6 minutes and 56 seconds. They were 0 for 8 from the field, but they were 13 of 16 at the free throw line, which aided them in holding on to this win. So just a crazy game. Dalton Knecht puts up 37 for Tennessee, a career high for him, tied for the most points ever scored by an opponent in the Smith Center. Our game today was presented by Window World, the Triangle's most trusted premier replacement window siding and door company. Let's get to that Old Dominion Best in the Game Player of the Game, brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line. Old Dominion Freight Line works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. And Pete, there were a lot of choices in this one. We had a brain meeting there during the commercial break. We're going with the starting backcourt. We're going to it up on this one. R.J. Davis, 27 points, 8 of 17 shooting, 5 of 11 from 3, 6 of 6 from the stripe. He had, by the way, also 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and no turnovers. Then you have Elliot Cadeau, 5 points, 10 assists, no turnovers, and a steal. So your starting backcourt there finishes with 32 points, 12 assists, and no turnovers. Pretty good numbers there for those two guards.
It really was. And if we're being honest, the player of the game may have been Dalton Knecht.
Yeah. Look, we're talking about the Tar Heel player of the game.
Very, very impressive by that guy. But as you mentioned, our backcourt is a mixture of young and experienced, and we saw the future coming alive with the way Elliott's been playing lately with his ball control and be able to get where he wants. And he's getting to these places and making these great passes. He's pushing the ball up the court. He's not getting some of the credit for some of those fast break points, but he's the reason him and RJ both pushing that ball up the court. And RJ's been fantastic with his scoring and his ability to kind of hit those clutch shots when we need them. So definitely earned it. Co MVP of the game. Would like to see Baycott was a strong second because of his play and his reemergence as the guy who can score down low after a little bit of a Bahamas break. So good to see him come back, and overall, great performance by our offense, especially in the first 20, I don't know.
Yeah, 25, 27 minutes or so.
Yeah.
But, hey, it all also adds up to a W, most importantly. Carolina now 6-1 overall. And, I mean, there's a couple quality wins now. Carolina has a win over Arkansas, the win over Tennessee. I think that win over Northern Iowa is going to be a quality win for Carolina when it's all said and done as well. So some quality wins from the Heels here in a time period of the season that hurt Carolina a year ago. Carolina comes up with a big win tonight, and it is just the 4th game of this 8-game stretch. So they're halfway through with the Northern Iowa, Villanova, Arkansas, Tennessee. Now the back half of this 4-game stretch doesn't get any easier. Florida State, Connecticut, Kentucky, and Oklahoma. So, and we've seen, Kentucky is as hot as anybody. They dismantled Miami, a good team, yesterday in Lexington. Of course, Connecticut, the defending national champions. Florida State just won a holiday tournament. They beat a good Colorado team to win an event, and FSU leading Georgia right now in the second half of their current game. And certainly Oklahoma just won a holiday event too and beat USC in doing so. So 4 really good teams upcoming for Carolina. They've played 4 good teams, and so it doesn't get any easier for the Heels. But tonight, Carolina got what it wanted. Couple of reminders. Next game is Saturday against Florida State. Marcus Ginyard will be with us for the analyst work on that one. That game is 2 p.m. on Saturday afternoon, so we'll be on the air at 1 o'clock for that one. Pete, any final thoughts from you? Carolina gets, again, I think perhaps the best part of this win, 1A, is that it's a win, and 1B is that there's a lot to work off after this game, because certainly Carolina was excellent in the first 25 minutes and then has a lot to work on after that.
Yeah, I've coached enough middle school kids to know that all that matters is winning, and then you can hopefully teach lessons while you win. So the fact that they got the W but also can learn some lessons about how to maybe control some of that action and maybe work on some of that defensive rotation stuff is invaluable, because now you have a teaching point, but also you're taking a W. I think that may be a quad 1 win.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see how the quads all shake out. That's a pretty good win. Look, Tennessee's good. I mean, and you saw heard the terrific ability by Dalton Connect tonight. Man, a really quality performance by Josiah Jordan-James as well. And you saw Carolina made Tennessee look not very good defensively there for the first 25, 30 minutes or so of this game. But I think you saw more of what Tennessee is like defensively down that last 10 or 15 minutes of the game. They're a legitimate Final Four type of team, and it's a great win for Carolina tonight to get that victory over the Vols, 192. All right, we're going to take a break, come back. Dave will take it out of the timeout and finish things up for you here on the Coke Postgame Report and the Carolina Ford Dealers Wrap-Up Show. But that'll do it for me, Jones Angel, and Pete Chilcutt here courtside. Tar Heels win it by 8, 192 from Learfield.
Carolina Basketball has been brought to you by Wells Fargo, official retail bank sponsor of Carolina Athletics. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Tar Heels Sports Network.